identically that I have with my son Bo in 13 years?
And if you don't do it, you're fired. And I see you do it again, you're gone.
You're grounded.
That's it. And you too. And you too. And you.
Bo versus Tom Cruise.
KWFN and KWFN HD1 San Diego.
As Padres fans, sometimes you just have to laugh. We talk plenty of Padres and deliver a few laughs too on Better Woods, weekday mornings from 6 to 10 a.m. on San Diego's #1 sports station, 97.3 The Fan.
And Odyssey Sports Station. This program is sponsored and produced by Let's Talk Hookup. Opinions and offers expressed during this program are not those of Odyssey or 97.3 The Fan. Sometimes they tell some pretty hefty fish stories. We don't know if they're true or not.
And now, it's time for Southern California's sports fishing voice. Let's Talk Hookup. For the next 2 hours, join Pete Gray, Rock Cod Rick Maxa, Corey Sandin, and this week's special expert guest for fishing information, new techniques to catch more fish, and the most current scoop on what's happening in the water. Let's Talk Hookup is sponsored in part by Ford, the official truck of Let's Talk Hookup, and Shimano Rods and Reels. Fish with the best. Shimano. Get ready for the fastest 2 hours on radio with the hosts of Let's Talk Hookup, Pete Gray, Rock Cod Rick Mexa, and Corey Sandin.
Good morning, anglers, and welcome to Let's Talk Hookup. Man, are we going to have a fun show for you today? We got him, Captain Dave Irbahim from the Tomahawk is going to be joining us. We got some fun fishing to talk about on one of my most favorite boats. Just a beautiful boat, and we're going to be talking fishing, talking fun with one of the best guys on the coast to do it. You stay tuned. It's going to be a fun show. Just Corey and I. Pete is traveling south to hopefully a warmer area because it was really cold this morning. We got a really fun show for you. You stay tuned. It's Southern California's sport fishing voice. This is Let's Talk Hookup on the Let's Talk Hookup app, Facebook and YouTube Live, and 97.3 The Fan. Introducing new Power Pro Max 8 microfilament braided fishing line. It's built for offshore anglers seeking smooth casting and control. Power Pro Max 8 features an 8-carrier Spectra HT construction that cuts through current with ease for precise vertical jigging with a 25% thinner diameter. Available in white and metered 4-color for trolling spread control and precise jigging depths. It's stronger, smoother, and thinner. Power Pro Max 8 is now available at your tackle retailer.
Inside information is everything when it comes to catching fish in Southern California. You need a code group to connect with what's happening on the water. FishDope.com is your code group. Inside information available at your fingertips 7 days a week, 24 hours a day. FishDope.com really does help you catch more fish and burn less fuel. FishDope.com is the only fish finding service with a spotter plane, along with a crew of top anglers on the water almost every day that report actual locations and catches. They become your code group. You get daily catch reports from Point Conception to San Catine, 365 days a year. FishDope.com has online planning tools, temperature and chlorophyll charts, hot bite icons, and more. Take it from me, if you don't have FishDope.com, you're not part of the in-the-know crowd. Membership is affordable and good for an entire year. Plus, use the special code and save $30 on a new FishDope.com membership. Check it out today. FishDope.com. Catch more fish, burn less fuel.
All right, welcome back to Let's Talk Hookup, and there we go. And stoked to be in the studio. Nice weather and good people, Rick.
Yeah, today's going to be a fun day for sure. We're pumped to have Captain Dave in here and lots to talk about and lots to do. And, you know, wintertime is one of those things that's always, it's bittersweet at the landing. You know, I mean, I obviously all of us love it. Fishing, crazy, wide open, everything happening. What is fun, though, is you get to see the whole fleet. And, you know, especially Christmas time when long range guys are in and, you know, and it's maintenance time. And so it's fun to get to see everybody at the dock, because a boat we don't get to see a whole lot is Dave and the Tomahawk, because they run all the time. You know, the boat has just been taken to such a different level, you know, under the tutelage of Dave, and they hit it, like, you know, the right program, the right people, the right crew, and the boat is tremendous. So we don't get to see them a whole lot. So I like the wintertime for that. And I love Dave's attitude towards things. Like the second that boat stopped running, you guys were doing maintenance immediate. Just, yeah. I mean, that the fish has been blessing us, you know, with earlier and earlier opportunities. And I just know your guys' style was like, well, we want to be ready the second. Like, if you get done with maintenance, you can enjoy your time off between then and when the fish bite. You don't want to do the opposite.
Exactly. Yeah. Don't let the work get the jump on you. So conquering it, keeping the crew busy, and it worked out good. Now it's like, almost done.
Well, we're sure great to have you here, buddy, man. I appreciate you joining us. And I know it's a busy time. And, I mean, obviously the much easier thing would be to just hang it up. Okay, we did it. We kicked ass. We had a great season. We were busy. I'm gonna go to Mexico, go fishing. I'm gonna go do something. But you guys snapped finger, went right into
It definitely
right
crossed my mind a couple of those projects, but
I bet it did.
yeah, it worked out good, man. Just a sense of relief with the boat being ready. Whatever comes our way. Definitely don't want to miss the early season stuff if that's an option. So yeah, conquered it.
Well, the first thing I think we just have to do is talk about that beautiful boat that you have. And for those that aren't familiar with the Tomahawk, it's unique. I mean, there's a lot of great boats, and a lot of boats have great features. But I personally like that boat so much. Corey, you're a tall guy. I'm a big guy. Like the Tomahawk is, I will say, about the most comfortable boat that runs day and a half trips that you could ever be on. And you guys just do such a good job. Maybe give us a little rundown. Guy hasn't been lucky enough to fish with you or about the boat. Tell us a little bit about it.
Yeah, it's so 64 feet wide on the sides, got big galley, sits 18. And we have I'll have the same cook this year, Nick. He'll be in the galley cooking up good meals, and it's double wide bunks on all the outsides of the bunk room there. 2 functioning ACs and bait capacities there. And just overall, man, it's a nice layout. It's just a little big boat and just having the room on the sides, walking up the sides. It seems like it's just well balanced. So compliments to those that have been there to, help me work on building this. And it's definitely a nice platform to fish on. So yeah, definitely looking forward to the season. That's for sure.
You mentioned bait capacity. I know it's really big. It's just the comfort that you find on that boat. The width between the rails and the house, the size of the bunks that you guys have, the comfort level is it's just a notch up.
It is.
Yeah,
definitely.
I've always really liked Dave's story into coming into ownership of that boat too. Like I feel like it almost wasn't what you were, you were started down one path, always been a fisherman first and foremost, period. Mm-hmm. And Dave has a long career on working on the highest of echelon long range boats. So I know you came up under the very best in our fleet, but Dave's story is cool because you were, correct me if I'm telling any of this wrong, but you were going to school to get a really big license to drive whatever it might be, unlimited ships across the world, which forced you to not be gone in the normal schedule of a long range boat. Like you can't be, you're attending school, doing classes, doing all these things. But in between there, Dave was the ultimate relief guy. Well, everybody wanted Dave because he was super savvy, a great fisherman, a great captain. So if you had a stretch in between, like, hey, I've got 10 days where I don't need to be at this class, I'll jump on the Royal Star and I'll work this 10-day trip. I've got 6 days in between taking this courses. I'm going to go do a trip on the American Angler.
Exactly.
And in doing that, all of a sudden, this opportunity came up. This was the right boat. Hey, this boat came available and is looking for new ownership or new person. What do you think? And I know that the people who had that boat scooped Dave up, and the rest is history. Now all of a sudden, it's an incredibly successful run operation that's run much like the boats that that I know that you were a part of.
I didn't know that story. That's pretty cool.
That was exactly it. Tried to get my attempted to get my 500 ton and staying busy with work. And then, that was when my son was born. So I was like, okay, well, the plans of doing the whole month on, 2 month on, 1 month off schedule, doing the whole maritime industry side of it, the crew boats, the tankers, tugboats. It was like, all right, well, kind of got to put that on pause and came back into sport fishing. And yeah, this opportunity arose, and, definitely weird how things pop up, get thrown at you, but for a purpose. And, definitely feel that everything is happening in line, and yeah, good things to come. I always like saying that because it's more to it.
What was the Tomahawk prior to being called the Tomahawk?
It was the Eclipse before that.
Yeah,
the Renegade, and then Cat Special was the original.
Mm-hmm.
So
and Dart was the original part, and why Rick mentioned that everything's so tall,
just a touch taller.
Yeah.
Yep, exactly.
Which is awesome. The wheelhouse, there
was some good design stuff. So to have it in possession and spiffy it up even more. I'm down there pretty much every day just finding something to do. It's like any boat, private boat, whatever it may be, there's always something to do. So it's definitely find myself down there a lot.
You had I know when you were doing that and you were working on all those things, you also were a very accomplished private boat guy, which I think is always fun to me too. Is you have the obvious long range sport boat background, but also did it very successfully on your own boat. Also, I like it. I think Dave is as well rounded as one becomes. Local fishing, long range fishing, private boat fishing, but now the goal, owning and operating a badass rig.
Yeah, well, yeah, skiffs. I still got the private boat too, and it's like I wish I could run it as much as I'd like to run it, but it's there, works, functions. So definitely try to put that thing to more use here coming up.
And what is your private boat? What is that on the side?
It's a 28 Fairlawn.
Okay,
28 Fairlawn. I keep it on the trailer. It has a Volvo Penta diesel and maintenance on that. So it's funny how things would go wrong on that, and find myself taking that engine out and putting it in my driveway and working on it, and having things happen on the Tomahawk. It's like, man, all that preparation with doing that on my own boat, it really gave me the hand skills and learning of mechanics, doing that, fixing the private boat, to where now when I got the sport boat, it's like, all right, well, I know how that goes. I know how that belt tensioner goes. And it's just funny how things all happen in order.
Yeah, because 28-foot Fairlawn, that's no skiff.
It's a skiff.
That's a legit vessel.
It is.
Of all means. Yeah, beautiful boat, actually.
I learned a lot installing stuff and just trying to pass the knowledge on to these young crew members that are want to be in the industry, which I do have a handful that are younger and aspiring to do this and learn it and pick up on things. So having them under my wing and a couple senior guys like I do, it's a good blend.
How many years now with the boat?
So I think it was December 2022.
Okay.
When the ink dried there. So just finished the 3rd season. This up and coming will be the
Incredible.
4th season with it. Yeah.
That's so awesome.
Time's flying, even thinking that way.
I know. That's got to be a great feeling too, having a mix of the senior guys and then the next man up. Because you were the next man up at one point. And it's got to feel good to know, dude, that kid's got it. Like that kid's going to be driving one of these boats, or that kid's going to be owning one of those boats, or and you tie up amongst the best of the fleet. Fisherman's Landing is Royal Polaris and Shogun and the Royal Star and the XL and all those. You got to know, man, that kid's probably going to be driving that boat before too long.
Exactly. Seeing all the guys and still having the relationships that you acquire through all the years of working in all those wheelhouses. It's like, okay, yeah, it all makes sense. All the wheelhouse talks and crew meetings, things like that. It just, being in the position I'm in, you really see the effect and how the benefits from having that stuff and learning all those techniques.
I'll bet. So what was maintenance like for you guys this year? I mean, I'm hoping, as I always hope, I'm hoping that it was just a clean her up, refresh and get back to it, not have to spend a bunch of money and make her look good. But what was on the list for the Tomahawk this year?
Our running gear. So we pulled the shafts, props, rudders, got all new Cutlass bearings. Everything on our running gear side got redone. All of our cooling systems on the engines, a lot of the preventative stuff, painted the engine room, doing a bunch of bilge manifold plumbing. That's what our task is here this following week. And just, kind of just the stuff you don't see, but the important stuff. So it's making sure everything's sound, running good. And, soon, hopefully be doing the galley and so on and so forth. But it's like
never ending.
We're never ending. That engine stuff and just making sure everything's on point. It definitely takes some effort.
But maintenance is the thing that, maintenance is. I don't have to have a boat like that. I've got a Yamaha that just runs, and we turn the key, and every 100 hours or so, H&H Marines comes down and dials her in, and life is good again. But you always hear the best of them, the Frank Leprestis and the Brian Kiyoharas and the Tim Ekstroms and all of those guys talking about how maintenance is what gets you. And if you don't do those things come August, if you're down for a week and you have that loss of revenue, that's the difference maker.
It is.
And you just don't. You don't ever hear negative things about your boat, man. I love it. I'm proud of it. And I'm proud of you, and it's a hell of a rig for sure. So tell us about the season. You guys came off of one heck of a good year. It was an up and a down, and there was it's bluefin will be bluefin at times. But give us a little rundown. How did the season go for you guys? And
overall, good. I mean, I feel like there was those gaps with the bad weather, and there was a couple times just lack of people, and it was fish grade got smaller. So I feel like at the end there we just lost the urge of people wanting to go fishing. I understand it, grade wasn't all that good, but man, it was some fun fishing towards the end. And it's like, man, here we are catching our quota and just not having enough people to get it. But I get it from the standpoint of like, all right, well, we're up and coming. We're doing our best to get that savvy run like some of the other guys here out of Fisherman's Landing. So showing up, you know, making sure the boat's ready because I want this one to be solid all the way through. But I think overall it was good, man. Had a lot of good people, a lot of returning people, passengers coming back out with us. Had a good amount of charters, and I feel like we're already starting to get more charters too. And just trying to make it work.
I know that it's better for you. Don't get me wrong. And I'm happy for it and I love seeing it, but I always get so fearful of seeing the path that exactly the Tomahawk's going on. You're the open party boat, a fantastic open party boat at Fisherman's Landing, but you guys put such a good product down. A group of open party guys goes like, man, I had a good trip. I'm going to charter that boat for my construction company and we're going to go. And then another guy does it. And like, you just start to see that, like you start to see this fantastic open party boat that I love showing up to work on a Friday night and looking at the board and seeing the Tomahawks going. But like the boat, it's popular and more and more and more people start to charter and charter and charter and charter. And again, I know that's a great thing for Captain Dave, but that's one more opportunity me and Corey aren't going, but it's just because you guys do such a good job. It's cool. It's good to see.
Man. Yeah. It feels good. Again, these guys that want to come back out with us, want to bring their work company back out or, group of 25 of their buddies coming out chartering. So I know that's always, basically, it's all about charters because, hey, open party is good. And we do get off on a good amount of trips, but just having that charter side of it, just getting that locked in. So
how does that part work? Somebody does want to charter, somebody has been or knows about it or wants a bunk that they have a plug for their breathing machine or they like what you guys offer. How do you go about it?
So how we've been doing it since I'm on the boat most of the time driving every trip. I have everything through Fisherman's Landing. So Fisherman's Landing, giving them a call. They have the whole calendar. They have my main book of dates and charters. So I've pretty much given them the keys to conquer that for me on the note that I could focus on the boat.
Yeah, perfect.
Do whatever we have to do to put put the Tomahawk on fish. So them taking care of that side of it, it's been helpful.
That's
because,
cool.
Of course, to conquer it all, run the boat and book the charters, it probably get a little much at times. So Fisherman's Landing is backing me up all throughout that. So if you did want to charter the boat, 221-8500 here at Fisherman's Landing, give them a call and they have all the details, everything.
And I would say, man, I mean, it's not the salesman thing to say, like, get on it. If you want to do it, like, as the boat is it's been so popular and you guys have had extreme success and you've taken the boat to another level and it just gets more and more popular. And obviously when the boat isn't chartered, it's open party and it runs and you still get your opportunity to go. But if you think that that's what you want, I always say the same thing. Like if you really want to charter that boat for next season, you really need to get your date in pre-PCS show. Cause that's when the switch really happens for everybody. Oh man, fishing season's coming right up. And with bluefin happening as earlier and earlier and earlier as it has been, that time just, it flips for people faster. And the PCS show is coming up in March. So, which is not far from now. Like if you want a spot, man, I would highly suggest, calling and seeing what's available because those things are going to evaporate quickly.
And you mentioned 25. I mean, is that
25 is a good number? Yeah. We take, loads of 29, 28, 29, but a group of your friends, even 20 to 25, the boat fishes well.
I'll bet.
It's just kind of the balance for it. There's a handful of extra bunks to put your gear on, on the charter side of it. And it works out good. I know I do have a lot more of those 2-day trips that we're traveling, getting out to the grounds at night and being ready for it. Cause I feel like we did miss, on certain months that we did miss the night by get there late things. So, of course, doing a lot more of these 2 days where we leave at 11 a.m.
Love that.
But the options are there. There's a lot of open space there if a guy did want to charter. And once that PCS show, I feel like that's like exactly how you said, the kickoff. So there's dates that pop up or weekends that work for you and all your buddies, and definitely book.
I love it, man.
Yeah, have to.
I'm pumped. Well, we got 2 hours of talking about some great fishing with a guy who's as good at it as they come, and going to be a fun show, Corey.
It really is. I mean, it's just beautiful outside. It's cool to have a nice guy like Dave in the studio here. And you want to join us, you can definitely do so. We're on The Fan for 2 hours this morning on 97.3 The Fan, and
we're on all things now. Which if you didn't hear, Rick was doing some hustling behind the scenes of some not working, but we are all good to go.
And you got the app going.
Yeah, all good.
Good job, Rick. Hey, I had no doubt.
Yeah,
Come on,
yeah,
man.
totally. Light work.
Right, exactly. So if you want to join us on the app, you can do that too. In fact, on the app, you want to send us a text. It's right there. It says text to show. And if you have not downloaded the app yet, it's really the only way I live with the show.
Totally.
You know, you can listen to it live. You can listen to the archives. You can see what's coming up. You can see all the sponsors. Right. It's pretty cool, actually. And it's an easy download. And you go to the Let's Talk Hookup app. It says text the show right there. Send us a text, a message, comment. Maybe you've joined Dave in the previous season and have a that a boy, or you got a question for the
There's
boat.
a lot of that boys already lining up. You know,
There is, exactly. Or you can give us a call at the Fan, and Jeff's waiting for your call at 833-288-0973. And we're giving away a day and a half trip, right?
How about
On
that,
the Tomahawk.
dude?
Thank you, Dave, for that.
Yeah,
and
very welcome.
super cool. Somebody's going to get that day and a half trip. We're going to have him flip the coin right there at the end of the show, and it's going to go to a lucky texter or caller. And like I said, give us a call, 833-288-0973, and we're going to be right back. Not only, thank you, Rick, on the Let's Talk Hookup app, but YouTube, Facebook Live, and 97.3 The Fan.
Everything about Katmai Lodge is first rate, and it should be on the bucket list of everyone who enjoys fishing. This is Brandon Bono. My visit to Katmai Lodge is an experience I will never forget. Constructed on the banks of the Alagnak River in Katmai National Park, the lodge is a fishing dream come true. The experience is incomparable. Whether bait casting, spin, or fly fishing, you'll find king, sockeye, chum, coho, and pink salmon, plus trout, grayling, char, and dolly varden. Their guides are amazing. Days are exciting and fun with hot lunches and snacks served on the river. The brown bears, bald eagles, beaver, otters, and other wildlife you see is amazing. The lodge staff is great. There's complimentary wine, beer, and appetizers before a fantastic dinner every evening. Take it from me, a trip to Katmai Lodge should be on your list. For information, visit katmai.com or call 1-800-330-0326. Once again, that's Katmai Lodge, KATMAI.com.
Here's the hot tip on the best fishing LA has to offer. 22nd Street Landing Sport Fishing in San Pedro. They are home to LA's finest open party fleet, including overnight on the Freedom, Catalina Freelance on the Pursuit, half-day trips on the Monte Carlo, and three-quarter-day trips on the Sea Angler. For your own private charter, we have the Outrider and True Line available. There's always plenty of free parking and a fully stocked tackle store. 22nd Street Landing Sport Fishing in San Pedro. Call 310-832-8304 or on the web at 22ndstreet.com.
Seasoned long-range fishermen know that the Red Rooster 3 is the finest fishing vessels in terms of technology, design, speed, comfort, and safety. This 105-foot sport fishing yacht meets every demand for comfort while delivering an unforgettable fishing vacation. Captain Andy Cates and crew are experienced, friendly, and sincere in their desire to help you have the trip of a lifetime. Book a trip on the Red Rooster 3 and you'll be back. Trips go fast, so check redrooster3.com or call Lee Palm Sport Fisheries at 619-224-3857.
Hi, this is Christy Wheeler with Dawson and Associates Insurance, your full-service agency specializing in boat insurance, including charter, commercial, and personal use boats, business insurance, and travel insurance. We work hard to get you the most coverage for the best prices and guarantee the lowest rates available on all the travel plans we offer. So give us a call today at Dawson and Associates Insurance at 619-460-5615 for a free quote today.
All right, welcome back to Let's Talk Hookup. And as mentioned, man, we're giving away a day and a half trip. Didn't take line long, but the lines did fill up, Dave. And when somebody does drop, though, you want to give us a call at 833-288-0973 or send a text via the app. I know there's a ton of text coming through, and looking forward to a fun time having Dave Irbahim from the Tomahawk for 2 hours, man.
No doubt, man. It's going to be a very busy morning, and sure pumped to have Dave. And again, man, so generous. Thank you so much. What a cool prize and an opportunity. One lucky caller or texter going fishing on a day and a half trip on board the Tomahawk, man. Pumped, and phones are absolutely packed solid. Every single phone line full. Corey, why don't we jump into it and get things rolling?
Let's do that. How about John? John calling from Colorado Springs. Good morning, John. Appreciate you joining us on Let's Talk Hookup.
Good morning, guys. My question to Dave is, I know you said you have a 500-ton license. How many tons is the Tomahawk? And what kind of ship do you drive that's 500 tons?
So when doing all that maritime stuff, when I did, was looking to get into the tug stuff. Didn't finish all that out, but for the Tomahawk, it's let's see, it's 71 is how the Coast Guard measured it, and you only need 100-ton to drive this. So that whole upper tonnage thing was just if I wanted to see that whole other maritime industry through. So yeah, you only need 100-ton captain's license for the Tomahawk, which I've had that since 2009.
Wow.
Since 2009, really?
2009, yeah.
And
Acquired it.
where were you at your fishing life at that point in time, 2009?
Let's see. I think I was working out of Seaforth on the Pacific Star
Yeah.
at that time.
Okay.
And then I had switched to the Apollo with JJ. And then I was there. And that's when I pretty much stayed on this side from there on out.
Okay.
JJ
Wow.
to the American Angler and you know, a handful of other long range boats. But I think that was the transition time, was 2009 to 10 is when I went with JJ on the Apollo back when he had it.
That's
Wow.
Right?
Iconic.
Yeah.
Yeah, big time. And John, thank you for the call, by the way.
Yeah, no doubt. Well, hey, I had a fun text come through. It says, "Good morning, guys. I love hearing about all this great information with Captain Dave. I'm interested in doing it, or excuse me, I'm booked on a trip for this upcoming year, and it seems like you guys have had a better than average run when it comes to the nighttime jig fishing. I was wondering if Dave could put his spin on what they do to be so successful at it. I'm looking for a new jigging outfit for this year. Can you give me some pointers? Can you give me a favorite jig, et cetera, et cetera?"
Oh, I like this one. God, the difference, it's really wanting it. You get what you put into it, and you know, having our sonar tuned up and ready, full effect. And I think the big thing is having that attendance at the rail. You know, there's been some nights, I even tell it in my seminar, where, you know, we're maybe stop right when we get to the nighttime zone. Then there's a 2-3 hour gap. You know, next thing you know, we stop on the mother lode school and, you know, only have 5-6 anglers out. So rail time, being up and at it, ready for those hits and sonar schools during the night. And man, it's just fishing zones, fishing currents, you know, tent breaks, things like that. And for setup, God, I'm all across the board here. Right? I think my go-to is the, you know, Penn Fathom 40 with a rail rod, you know, 100-pound string, you know, colored spectra, that Isoline stuff that changes color every 100 feet, and jig, man. It's came to it to where I started with all the West Coast jigs and kind of lost on my inventory. Then it was like, all right, whatever 300 gram, 400 gram jig I had.
Start with the Gucci jig that everybody wants, but then when $50 lures start going away,
it's zipping away. Yeah, this one will work.
Yeah.
But yeah, those West Coast jigs, man, those things, I always see
They're
those
awesome.
things in fish's mouth, just unhooking fish after fish. And, you know, we use some of the Demiki ones. Those things were working well. And I think it's just on the note that it's what anglers come with, tie it on and you know, ready to fish. But I feel like I see a good amount of those West Coast jigs on a lot of these fish.
I'm always curious at a guy like you, and you said it best, like you're the one that's taking the hooks out of fish.
Yeah.
So I always like your opinion on that. And then also, you know, where a guy falls, you know, there are a lot of people have seen you know, the dedicated jigging type rods, you know, the real lightweight, skinny blank, short jigging rod and jigging reel versus rail rod. And you sure see the merits of both. I mean, you know, a light jigging outfit, sure, easy to hang on to all night, and the gear is very comfortable to fish with. And if you're fishing all of the hours of the night, it's sure nice to have a light piece of tackle in your hands. But on the flip side of it, you've seen big fish of all sizes, and there's nothing that makes your job easier when you're attached, like a big rod and reel and a low gear.
That's
like
it.
where do you fall in the what's right for everybody, the skilled guy, the new guy? Like where what do you like? Because I know it all works, you know, and it sounds like your personal outfit is somewhere in the middle of those two.
I like the comfort. I literally put it on the rail and it stays on the rail. It's all about conserving energy and saving your energy instead of pumping the fish up and down, and saving that energy to turn in the handle. What's going to get that fish to the boat? 1x3 with a Penn Fathom 40 is what I have, and works good. You know, even hooking and handing it to anglers and seeing how they handle it. It's just a universal rod. And of course, a bigger grade fish comes, we start coming across 2x4 with, a 20 size reel, but, still trying to keep everything small. It's not like when we first started doing all this nighttime stuff and all of us had 50, 30 and 50 wides, maybe not 50, but, these big reels. And it would really, come morning time, you were just whooped on, maybe not even caught a bunch, but, just the user friendliness of weight size. And I have yet to get into the jigging thing. I have a rod. I know Hailey made me a rod and I got a reel for it. So this season I'm definitely going to apply, try to use it more. But I see once those graded fish start getting 80, 100 pound fish, man, you really see the difference in a rail rod versus those jigging rods. But don't get me wrong, those jigging rods kill fish.
Sure.
People just roping fish on those things. But at least for me, I'm rested on the rail. Rested on the rail, turn the handle.
I would say, from getting lucky enough here on Let's Talk Hookup to talk to a lot of the guys, that same sentiment is shared amongst a lot of your colleagues.
Yeah.
And again, the right rig is the right rig for every person and individual. And I guarantee you, an absolute killer in the jigging world, those West Coast jiggers guys, that gear, an unlimited size fish is in the potential. But I think for a lot of people, the same sentiments that Dave is sharing, it seems like when that fish is 100 to 120 pounds, 140 pounds. Once it starts touching that size, boy, it's hard to beat.
That straight up and down.
Yeah,
It's
a heavy rail rod, a CalStar 770 extra heavy does a lot of work for you.
Yes.
And that's the one thing, you have to know that going into that. That jigging gear is lightweight, makes a ton of torque. You make a ton of power with it. It's awesome. But you are also having to do a lot of the lifting. Your reel's super powerful, so that's killing the fish for you. But you lay a CalStar rail rod on the rail and turn the handle with low gear, that fish is coming to the boat, and the gear is doing a lot of it. So
yeah, absolutely.
I get it, but I like it. I like the mix, and I feel like Dave's outfit is somewhere right in the center of those two. Still rail rod, but light enough, small enough reel that you're not fighting the tackle.
Exactly.
I like that a lot.
Exactly.
I can't believe myself. I mean, it's the nighttime bluefin thing. Obviously, isn't my gig, right? But how light a weight those jigging outfits are.
It's crazy.
Like you wouldn't even equate it to like a 20-pound bait outfit, really. You know what I mean?
Exactly.
But the Brian Nguyen's of the world get it done.
What you wouldn't believe too, Corey, like we have a we have a rig it's a shop loaner rig for all the kids in the shop to use, and it's one of those Shimano Osea jiggers, the 20,000, this is not a big reel. I mean, it's a smaller than a 4.0, it's like the size of a Trinidad 20, maybe a little bigger, but it's the jigging version. It's a lever drag. It's got this giant handle, giant arm, huge amount of drag pressure on a grappler jigging rod. And with the right size fish, which I always still think is like sub 100 pounds, but there was a ton of that. There was a ton of that crazy nice grade this year, 60, 70, 80 pound fish. The boys are saying the same thing. Like, you wouldn't believe how you can wind that fish to the boat with that tackle.
Crazy.
And it's nothing. I mean, it's the equivalent of your, I always go crazy when Corey's fishing a Tranks 200 and a bass rod and catching big yellowtail. It's that same thing. Like, you're fishing that super lightweight, easy to handle gear, and on the right size fish, it's wild how well it works. It just doesn't look right. You don't look at that outfit and think, oh yeah, I'm going to catch an 80 pounder on this, no problem. Wind them to the boat.
I agree with you.
Cool.
I mean, they're so lightweight looking. Like I said, it looks like a 20-pound.
There's no way that's going to work.
No.
But again,
they do.
You hook yourself a 220, you're in some real trouble.
Now
you're in some real trouble.
Right. But let me ask this. I mean, is that primarily, like, Dave, do you see that primarily being a nighttime outfit more so than daytime?
I'd say just on this compared to last season, we did have a lot more of that grade where those jigging rods were the ticket, because we didn't. I mean, there was a stretch; it was majority small ones, and then it had switched to the daytime thing. But God, those jigging rods, it might be time for me to try one, because I mean, God, you see some of these guys doing it, but hey. Definitely takes some more work to put the heat on them.
Well, you can borrow ours. So we got you. We got you. Let's jump back into the phones, Corey.
Let's do that. How about John? John calling from Escondido. Good morning, John.
What's up, John?
Hey, gentlemen. It's three of my favorite people. Love hearing Corey's voice and Dave's, and I always enjoy talking with you, Rick. But can't say enough about your outfit and what you've done and how hard you fish. And, if you don't have anybody waiting for you at the dock, you stay out and, a couple more hours. We fish in the rain. Your chefs, tremendous food, right? Your meal plans, we're going on 3 days. And I love the fact that you got so many 3 days this year. I love that little bit extra time on the water with you. And so, it's a new season. Your schedule's already out, which I told you the other day when I saw you at the boat, right? Kudos on that, and come on, people, let's go fish. Because I had a couple trips last year that got canceled because we didn't have enough people, and we just needed 1 or 2 more, and to go out and fish with 10 people on your boat, man, that would be a dream, so get off the couch and let's go fishing.
Right on, John. Thank
cool,
you, John.
John.
It was good seeing you the other day too. So was you getting off the RP? Is that what that was?
No, I was just down there hanging out.
Oh, gotcha.
That's cool, Dave. We appreciate the phone call very much. I had a fun text. Says, good morning, gentlemen. Captain Dave, you're awesome, and I absolutely love the tomahawk. I've got a trip coming up later this spring and trying to convince some more ladies to come along with me. I find your boat to be very female-friendly. Could you discuss a little bit more about the layout of the bunks, staterooms, etc.? Also, best food on a day-and-a-half trip, no doubt.
Oh, that's very kind. Thank you. So bunk layout is so it's bunk room shaped like a big U. We have, we have 12 bunks that are double wide, which are always, super nice to have. And the rest, it's all open bunk room layout. So each bunk has its own slide curtain, ACs on starboard and port side. So the bunk room stays nice and cool. But it's an open bunk room layout, no staterooms, and with the 12 double wide bunks is how that goes. And the rest call them twin size. But good pads. Keep it clean.
Yeah.
Everything's
And here's the thing: with Dart owning the boat, the bunk room, I could actually lay down and my feet
Exactly.
won't touch the bulkhead.
yeah. We redid a bunch of carpet down there too, so everything's just freshened up down there.
Like super long bunks.
Yes,
And
definitely.
having 12 double wides.
Yeah.
And the others being
Twins.
right.
Yeah.
I mean, that's huge.
It's big.
Yeah.
I'm telling you, that's the thing that we hear. We hear it in the tackle store all the time. And everybody that gets off the boat that didn't, hey, I'm not from San Diego. I came down from LA. I had no idea. I just jumped on a dolphin party trip. Oh my God, that thing is huge. You wouldn't believe the food and the space and and like you say, if you've got your your duffel bag and your pillow with you, it's like sleeping in your bed at home. It's just huge. It's cool. Yeah, you guys do a really, really good job. I like it.
Thank you.
All right, well, let's jump right back into those phones, Corey.
Let's do that. How about Sam? Where's Sam calling? Actually, Sam hung up. How about Alex? Alex calling from San Carlos. Good
What's
morning,
up, Alex?
Hey guys, good morning. I was calling because I just wanted to know how much fish time you get on like a day and a half or 2 day. It's been a while since I've been out on anything over like more than a overnight since the kids, but the kids are a little bit older now, so I'm planning on booking either like a day and a half or 2 days this year. Do you get to fish at night on both nights on a day and a half, or is it mostly just like the first night and then the second night you're coming back?
Yeah, it all depends on how far the fish are from home. So example, say if the fish were 60 miles, we were leaving Friday night 6 p.m. on a day and a half. We'd get bait, pre-bait, and be in the zone 12:30 midnight to 1. So you get fishing that first night, but it really depends on how far the fish are, because there were some trips fish were 90 miles, 100 miles. So that's why I tried to transition to doing a lot more of those 2-day trips where we leave at 11 a.m., travel, and when it's getting dark, we're getting to the zone. Is why we try to do that. And when it comes to staying late that second night, say if we have to be in the following morning and fish your 60 miles, I will stay as late as we possibly can if we have not met our quota yet. So it all depends on how far the fish are.
To a fault, this guy stays. It's the tackle store's worst nightmare when Dave doesn't have a trip going the next morning and is on fish in the evening. It's just, don't plan on leaving on time, boys. Like, that's for sure. The trip departs at 8 o'clock and it comes back when it comes back.
right? So you mentioned the reverse style, like leaving in the morning and getting out there in the evening. Is that something that you're gonna? I mean, obviously, probably try to start the season with, right?
Yeah, definitely. Just having a little bit more time. 2-day trip, you're able to keep 2-day limits And that's how we call those 11 a.m. departure
that's
ones.
cool.
Able to keep double the amount of fish for, a little more money. Ends up being worth it. Having the time, double the amount of fish.
Right.
It's worth it on all
And
angles.
going from that day and a half ticket price to a 2 day, it's just a little bit more. But like you said, it offers you the opportunity to bluefin instead of 4. I mean,
the amount of jingle isn't a whole lot more, but the amount of of opportunity is sure there for sure.
I love it.
That's cool. Hey, I had a fun text that come through. It says, "Good morning, guys. I haven't fished with Captain Dave yet, and honestly, I don't know why. He's such a wealth of knowledge and seems to have a great laid-back energy that really makes a guy like me want to fish. My question is for Captain Dave, what do you feel makes the best anglers on your boat? Is it more knowledge? Is it more experience? Is it more attitude? Is it God-given talent? Thanks for everything you do. Can't wait to come fishing, Mike in San Diego."
Oh, thank you, Mike. As with everything, I feel like you get what you put into it, and it's the guys that come out, maybe you never even fished before, but just asking questions. Hey, what's that do? It's like, I love when guys come on the boat asking that, and they're able to obtain whatever they hear. And I have this young crew doing wheelhouse talks, telling them exactly what I expect and how I want you guys rigged up. But these guys are out there day in, day out. I'm making sure I'm keeping them on point with what I feel is going to be working. So asking the deckhands questions, doing your homework because it could be something known, or, hey, these fish have been biting this jig. And it's the guys in the tackle shop know just as much as all of our crew members, because they are there. They are hearing people come back, feedback, guys going on trips, Fisherman's Landing guys going on trips with out with us. So they are in tune. And like, as always, Fisherman's Landing does a great job on staying on the know of what it takes. So asking questions, coming out open-minded, doing your homework. I feel like
you said something a little bit ago that I think is it deserves to be talked about again. And if you want to talk about success on these trips, it's the willingness to keep at it and stay at the rail. And the problem with nighttime bluefin fishing is well, at least for me, it never bites at 9:30 after you just finished dinner and it's still warm and you're still wearing your t-shirt and you're still wearing flip-flops. It never bites then. It bites at 2 a.m. or 3 a.m. or whatever. And it could, but what the thing with that nighttime fishing is it can be a lot of it can be wide open for sure, but more often than not, it's a lot of schools and it's a lot of dropping and winding and hooking a couple, getting back on it, hooking a couple, hooking 2 or 3. Hey, this school bit, we got 10. Next thing you know, you turn around, that's 40 fish and the trip's done. But if you're not there making the drop when the boat slides over it oftentimes, if you're trying to catch, if you're at the caboose and you're trying to catch it, you're going to miss it. And just keeping your head in the game. And even though you made the first 5 drops and didn't hook one, drop 7, 8, and 9 might be where your limit comes. And it's real easy to keep your head in the game at 9 o'clock or 10 o'clock. It's a lot harder to keep your head in the game at 2 o'clock in the morning when it is chilly and the spray's a little cold. And you ran on 3 stops for nothing, and the stop before you only got 1. But it takes 1. It takes 1 stop to slide over, and your jib gets stopped, and away you go. So keeping your head focused for all night long is a big part of it.
It is. I think back to certain nights, it was stopping the boat 5, 8, 10 times even, hooking a fish or 2 maybe each stop. But it's like, keeping in the game and staying at it, because like you said, all it takes is that one school. And
just that one stop, that one school, get it done. Hey,
staying at the rail.
We're going to be right back, man. Let's all this cool stuff with Dave Irbahim from the Tomahawk. We're going to be right back, not only on the thank you, Rick, for getting it going, the Let's Talk Hookup app, but YouTube, Facebook Live, and 97.3 The Fan.
One rod has set the standard for serious saltwater anglers worldwide, and that's CalStar. From the rugged dependability of the West Coast series, the lightweight strength of the Graphiter, or the performance of the GG series, all CalStar rods are handmade right here in Southern California of the finest materials and craftsmanship. Check out the new CalStar models now available, as well as upgrades to the classic rods that you know and love. If you want your tackle to be state-of-the-art tools to get the job done right, it's CalStar at fine tackle dealers.
Hey anglers, AFCO Pro Captain Ben Florentino of Coastal Charters here. As a full-time guide, I'm on the water all year long. It's my livelihood. Having the right clothing is of the utmost importance to staying warm, dry, cool, and comfortable to endure whatever the Pacific wants to throw at me. Thankfully, I'm equipped with AFCO clothing to keep me dialed season after season. Do yourself a favor and check out AFCO's award-winning gear at a dealer near you, or learn more at AFCO.com.
Get ready for the most exciting sports show of the year, the Pacific Coast Sport Fishing Tackle, Boat, and Travel Show, presented by Geico. Now 2 great dates and locations. First, the giant 16th Annual Pacific Coast Sport Fishing Show, March 5th through the 8th at the OC Fair and Event Center in Costa Mesa. Then, the first annual Pacific Coast Sport Fishing Show, San Diego, March 19th to the 22nd at the Del Mar Fairgrounds. Check out hundreds of sport fishing exhibitors, manufacturers, tackle dealers, fishing boats, and fishing resorts, taking up the huge fairgrounds at both locations, plus fantastic seminars and free kids trout pond. Seminars featuring some of the top names in the industry, from catching giant bluefin, swordfish, calico bass, freshwater bass, trout, and more. Take advantage of incredible show specials from major tackle retailers and boat dealers. Talk to the top fishing travel destinations. Thursday, March 5th to Sunday, March 8th at the Orange County Fairgrounds in Costa Mesa, and in San Diego, March 19th to the 22nd at the Del Mar Fairgrounds. Presented by Geico. Check sportfishingfestival.com.
The San Diego Rodeo is happening soon at Petco Park, and your San Diego County Ford dealer can get you there as the official truck. Take a test drive at your local San Diego County Ford dealer and get 2 complimentary tickets to the San Diego Rodeo that's happening January 16th through the 18th. It's only while supplies last, and the tickets are going fast. Don't miss out. Be sure to visit buyfordnow.com to find your local participating Ford dealer to take your test drive today.
All right, welcome back to Let's Talk Hookup, and having so much fun in the world headquarters with Dave Irbahim from the Tomahawk. And dude, the lines have been full the entire time, Dave. They definitely love you. But if somebody does hang up, 833-288-0973, or send us a text via the app, man. That's a lot coming through and a lot of good ones. And Dave has been just so gracious, giving us a 1.5-day trip to one lucky caller or texter. So at the end of the show, flipping the coin right here, Dave's going to give that to a lucky caller or texter at the end of the show, 1.5-day trip.
I love it. Hey, I want to start this one off with the text. Says, good morning, guys. What a great show already this morning. I've got a question for Captain Dave. When you're fishing the jig, do you prefer to run Spectra all the way down to the leader, or do you like a bit of mono in between? Also, what's your thoughts on bite leader or not? Pound test for Top Shot if you think it's a good call, etc. Thanks for everything you do. Can't wait to come fishing with you, Dave from Rancho Cucamonga.
Awesome. Thank you, Dave. I like Top Shot. I know I see every trip guys straight tying to jigs or to bite leaders, have 3-foot bite leader with the jig. Me, I like 25 to 50 feet of mono, 100-pound string. And this last season, I was straight tying a lot. I feel like it's less snagging gear. Like once you have the swivel and the bite leader, I'm not saying it's bad. I think there's a time and a place, but I found myself a lot this last season just straight tying to these jigs. Grade of fish matters, 60, 80-pound fish. I'm comfortable straight tying, even bigger, but it just depends. It seems like some nights these things are in hell in these jigs, especially with the small body jig. Big body jig, I feel more comfortable straight tying. I straight tie small body jigs too, but it's just all about the grade of fish, because the smaller the jig, bigger fish, it might be nice to have that bite leader. But 100-pound string, I feel like 100-pound string was my go-to with 25, 50 foot of line, mono, straight tied to the Spectra from there on forth.
Full Spectra, 25 to 50 feet of 100-pound mono right to the lure. That's the Dave rig.
That was it.
I like
a
it.
lot this last
That
year.
sounds good to me.
And that allows for a lot of cushion. Like when you get them close to the boat length or more, right?
Sea state, all that stuff factors in.
Sure.
The boat rocking and rolling, you want that shock absorber. You see more fish lost at the deep color when the boat's rocking and rolling up and sliding down maybe a rougher weather trip, and not having that shock. Next thing you know, we're pulling jigs out of fish's mouth. So it's just these different factors that weigh in: sea state, how aggressive the fish are. So you could always play it safe with the short Top Shot of mono straight tied to your Spectra there.
Like it. What you mentioned earlier too, the colored Spectra, Izerline, Power Pro, I know has it.
Yes.
A few
yes.
how important is a marked line, a colored line, whatever it is? Like how much has that changed?
I think it matters. I feel like if I see a bunch of reels with straight white Spectra, which there's not many. I know a lot of guys do have that colored Spectra, but I'd stop in that whatever depth that I feel these fish have been in and have everyone drop their jigs to the bottom, mark their spectra. It just depends. But having your spectra marked in whichever way you get there, it's very important.
I dig it. Good call. Well, Corey, let's find out what's going on the water.
Yeah, so we're going to go up to Dana Wharf Sport Fishing. We've got Woolley Master Man, Brian Woolley, on hold, and it's brought to us by Terrafin Sea Surface Temperature Charts. You can focus your most productive areas in using Terrafin Sea Surface Temperature. They also have chlorophyll, currents, and more. And with Terrafin Mobile, you can access your charts on your phone or your mobile device. Just check terrafin.com and you'll get more information there. Good morning, Brian.
Hey, what up, Woolley?
Hey, good morning. Good stuff, man. No Mark Spectra or bite leaders in our program right now.
Soon
we're
coming.
Just fishing for bites. Yeah, fishing for bites is what we're doing here, man. Easy week for us. You know, water 59 to 61. Still seeing some of that 60-degree water here, even with some of that wind. But that wind a day or two did kind of keep us in check off the water a little bit. But the days that we were out, you know, this local scene is still kind of a sleeper deal. The sand bass fishing in some of the deeper zones still totally relevant. Baits fished on dropper loops or like a heavier sliding sinker, Carolina rig type deal, maybe 3/4 ounce to a 1 ounce sliding egg sinker. Fished well for the guys, either with a live sardine or a strip bait. Just typical winter tactics for this sand bass. Heavy lead head and a swim bait rolled along the bottom, caught some fish. And some nice sculpin, as you'd imagine, that bait bouncing around the bottom. And then the calico bass, kind of mid-water, a bit slower this week, but still some fish caught for the guys that just kind of stuck with it and, you know, really worked at it. Caught some fish there. Out deeper, the sculpin fishing was decent. Pretty easy 5 fish limit for the guys that, fish the lure on a dropper loop. Lots of whitefish in the mix there. Some sand dabs and stuff like that. Just classic winter fishing, really in that cooler, deeper water. On the halibut front for us, guys still seeing, some decent sign along the stretch of coast that they like to focus there on those drift trips. More fish were caught on Friday's drift trip, along with some sand bass and some sculpin as well. The halibut being caught right now aren't the big ones by any means. These are like the 5 to 10 pound fish. But no standout fish yet, but just seeing that fish in those right zones, because gosh, we've had halibut derbies in the past where it's just brutal, impossible to even catch a fish because that fish wasn't around. But good to see some of that stuff still totally relevant. And I think, there's been some bait on the beach, both fin bait. I think there's some squid down the coast here a little bit that's kind of been hanging out for a little while. So, guys targeting some of those zones. I think it's just a matter of time before we see a couple really nice ones in the mix there as well. So I'd like to call it just a status quo January fishing week with, a little bit of weather, a little bit of cooler water, just kind of classic for what you'd think coastal fishing would be here in SoCal in January. So I think we're going to have another week like that. We've got some nice weather ahead of us, but if you guys want to hop on a trip, give the landing a call here. Our number 949-496-5794. Of course, you can hit us on the web as well at danawharf.com. And make those reservations this time of year, especially midweek, lighter loads. It'll help, get the boat away from the dock. So come take advantage of some of this nice weather this week.
I was just going to say, you hit the nail on the head. We've got a fantastic week of Dana Wharf sport fishing weather up in front of us here, and anxious to see what happens. Like you say, good fishing, good bag filling. It's a great time to go and enjoy a nice day in Orange County.
Roger that. Yeah. So nice, easy week. And we're painting the Sun Fun this week. So it's good painting weather too. So we'll be off the water, but plenty of other guys doing their thing to get you guys out there.
All right, good time. We'll look forward to seeing the pictures of that boat all shined up there on the social media follow for Dana Wharf Sport Fishing. Willie, a great job as always, buddy. Sure appreciate it. And we'll look forward to talking to you next week.
Sounds good, guys. Thanks for the time. See ya.
Thanks, bro. Appreciate that very much.
You mentioned the weather, man. The weather for the next, not just week, but it's 7, 8, 9 days is incredible. Like,
bring it on.
Slightly offshore. I mean, all it took was Pete leaving town, right? Yeah, right. Thank you, Pete.
Yeah, it's we'll take this just fine, man.
It's going to be incredible.
It's been fun to watch. What a fun wintertime local fishing has been. I mean, you hear that great report from Woolley there. Lots of fishing to be had, and then this incredible influx.
Benito, dude.
Wild.
Local? Man. Are you kidding me?
Awesome. We're hoping to hear from Marcos today. I talked to him yesterday during the break, and he was busy getting the half-day boat out, but his plan was to give us a jingle this morning. with the tribute coming back from one of their Colonet trips, and then also to talk about that incredible bonita fish. Still, I mean, on Friday was
Crazy. 5 weeks.
Limits
or
again
more.
for
Yeah.
of that great grade too. Like what an awesome fish that is, and how fun in wintertime. It's all the things that we talk about that make for a fun winter fishing.
Have you ever seen it like this, Dave? I mean,
No.
that large a bonito.
No, that's what I'm saying. I'm almost tempted to go myself. It's
Right?
Just action. Fun,
Yeah,
fun,
yeah,
so.
and you start talking a 4 or 5 pounder or better, and the fattiness and the sashimi grade and the poke value, like bring it on.
And you can't say it enough good times. You want to talk about taking a kid, your gal,
Yes.
somebody who maybe doesn't fish a ton. You're a gal that's got a dude that doesn't fit. I mean, like it is about the most fun you could introduce somebody to our fishing. They're very aggressive. They bite good. You start talking 4, 5, 6, 8, 10-pound bonitas. They're ripping line. It's dragging you up and down the side of the boat, but they're very gettable. It is the coolest thing to introduce a kid into fishing, and easy to catch. Spinning rod and a Colt Sniper, and you've got an ideal rig in your hand.
And you harvest a few fish. I mean, if
100%.
you're lucky enough, fortunate enough to get your 5 fish, if you just get a few, dude, you're bringing home some legitimate, like table fare.
Totally.
Coming home a hero either way.
Right?
1 or 5.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah,
it's fun. Good
and,
times.
and to have that stretch of weather coming. I mean, if you ever did want to get out, right now is the time. And I know Seaforth, if Marcos doesn't call us, they're 8:30 to 2 run or something like that.
Yeah.
I mean, you don't have to get out super early and do it
Gentleman's
that way.
hours.
Yeah, it is. It really is. What about Jason? Is he running
Maintenance right
double?
now.
Okay, maintenance.
Yeah, maintenance right now, and I'm sure they're very anxious to get back. But same deal. It's a maintenance heavy period time at Fisherman's Landing. Everybody's like Dave is.
Yeah.
Wrenches are turning and paint brushes are moving. It was so good this year that everybody has stuff to do, and we're having a pretty mild winter, and like there's already fish shine. I know the commercial guys are already keeping tabs of bluefin down below. I think everybody's anticipating a pretty early start to this year. So the savvy guys like Dave are trying to get everything done. So that's what we were saying at the beginning. So you can have the boat ready, and if the fish don't come for a little bit, all right, well, no problem. We'll take our vacation afterwards, but let's get her ready to roll before we get going.
Right. No, this definitely sounds like fun. And dude, we got a whole nother hour ahead of us on 97.3 The Fan and Let's Talk Hookup. And we've got who's coming up next?
We'll have Gundy the next
the
hour.
Surf Report. I'm so stoked. We're going to be right back. You're listening to us on not only YouTube, Facebook Live, and the Let's Talk Hookup app, but 97.3 The Fan.
Hey, this is Benny Florentino, owner-operator of Coastal Charters. Just want to announce that I'll be running the Camus 26 hybrid boat from West Coast Marine in Costa Mesa. Hybrid being a center console with bay boat features. The boat features a Michael Peters stepped hull that'll give both myself and my guests a comfortable, dry ride. West Coast Marine in Costa Mesa will be carrying the 26 hybrid, 28 hybrid, and also a 34 cat. Heck, they even have some great looking bass boats. But if you have any other questions, feel free to call Nick Kelly or Kyle Mesa at West Coast Marine in Costa Mesa, and we'll see you on the water.
Take it from Captain Benny Florentino. West Coast Marine in Costa Mesa is your source for Camus boats, as well as Parker boats, Yamaha outboards, and now Mercury outboards. Sales and service, the finest you can find. Go see Nick and the guys at West Coast Marine on Newport Boulevard in Costa Mesa, or check westcoastmarine.com.
Are you ready for liability? Then you're ready for a Yamaha outboard. And there's no better time to jump on board than during our Ready for Reliability sales event. From now until March 31st, 2026, eligible new Yamaha 30 to 450 horsepower outboards get 2 additional years of warranty protection for a total of up to 7 years of warranty coverage. Plus, Yamaha 2.5 to 25 horsepower outboards come with up to $200 in dealer credit. Get ready to enjoy Yamaha reliability with a new outboard today. Visit your local Yamaha dealer for details. Yamaha, reliability starts here. Offer ends March 31st, 2026. Subject to change. Other restrictions and conditions apply. Select models excluded. 24-month Yamaha extended service added to 36 or 60-month factory limited warranty. Choice offered to Florida residents is a 24-month Yamaha limited warranty. See authorized participating Yamaha outboard dealers for details. Cannot be used with any other Yamaha offer.
Here's exciting news from Baker Marine and Fujinon. For a limited time, get $175 of instant savings on the Fujinon TSX 1440 stabilized binoculars from Baker Marine. Talk about the perfect gift for anyone that spends time on the water, or the perfect time to finally get your pair. Now is the best time to upgrade your gear to a pair of Fujinon stabilized binoculars from Baker Marine. Baker Marine has been selling binoculars for decades, and they service all brands right at their San Diego Shelter Island location. The Fujinon Technostabi TSX 1440 is the best value in stabilized binoculars, period. They deliver rock-steady vision even in rough waters. And now, for a limited time, get an instant rebate of $175. Baker Marine is the largest Fujinon retailer on the West Coast, and when you buy from them, they'll be there when your binoculars need service. Stop by their store on Shelter Island in San Diego and grab your instant savings now. This offer ends soon, so get your pair from Baker Marine. Learn more at bakermarine.com.
KWFN and KWFN HD1 San Diego.
If you like raw, honest radio, warts and all, you'll love Ben and Woods. Spend your morning with us weekdays from 6 to 10 a.m. on San Diego's #1 sports station, 97.3 The Fan.
And Odyssey Sports Station. This program is sponsored and produced by Let's Talk Hookup. Opinions and offers expressed during this program are not those of Odyssey or 97.3 The Fan. Sometimes they tell some pretty hefty fish stories. We don't know if they're true or not.
And now it's time for more of Southern California's sports fishing voice. Let's Talk Hookup. This portion of the show is sponsored in part by Ford, the official truck of Let's Talk Hookup. Shimano Rods and Reels. Fish with the best. Shimano. And by Yamaha Outboards, official motor sponsor of Let's Talk Hookup. Here we go. Another great hour of Southern California's sports fishing voice. Let's Talk Hookup. Here's Pete Gray, Rock Cod Rick Mexa, and Corey Sandin.
Welcome back. Hour number 2. Let's Talk Hookup. Boy, that was a fast first hour. Coming your way here on the Let's Talk Hookup app, Facebook and YouTube Live, and 97.3 The Fan. Having so much fun with Captain Dave Ibrahim from the Tomahawk in here this morning. We're talking fishing, having a great time doing it, and having fun talking to you. If you want to join us this morning, it has been a great show. Lots of fun. High energy, and boy, we're just so stoked to have Captain Dave in here, Corey with us hanging and talking fishing. Pete Gray, as we said, out of the studio today. He's traveling down to Mexico, going to get some surf and some fish and some good time in with some buds. And you got Corey and I and Dave hanging with you for another full hour, having a good time this morning.
I agree with you, and I'm surprised that Pete wasn't flying to Michigan or somewhere colder country, right, with the nice weather we're having. I'm surprised he's actually up down in the subtropical, beautiful weather, and having fun with Dave. How do you pronounce it?
Ibrahim.
Yes. Thank you. And in studio from the Tomahawk and having fun. You want to join us? 833-288-0973. We can do it that way. And the lines have been completely full the whole time. And Dave's a popular guy. Send us a text via the app. You can do it that way. And as Rick promised, not only are we giving away a day-and-a-half trip on the Tomahawk, but as Rick promised, we've got the surf guru. That's Mr. Gundy Gunderson. Good morning, Gundy.
How you guys doing today?
What up, Gundy?
Well. Stoked with the surf report, man. Bring it on.
Yeah, it's window fishing with the weather. You just get these fronts roll through, some wind roll through. 2-3 days of decent weather, and it's time to take a look. And that's what some guys are doing. Not a lot of coverage, but still some catches made. And keep in mind, the water temp's still over 60. That's kind of interesting stuff for January. Hook, line, sinker reported good perch action. Probably the best bet up there on the better weather days. The nicer ones, 10 to 13 inches, so that's good quality fish. We're starting to see that come around the end of January here. We probably see a spawn. Curly tail grubs, paddle tail grubs working real good. They had 3 legal halibut up there to 28 inches on the flukes. Just fishing reported some perch action on the better days. Hermosa near the pier there, and then Manhattan Beach are 2 of the better spots. Smaller quality fish, maybe 5 to 8 inches, Also a 4-pound striped bass taken off El Segundo. Anchovy. In around LA Harbor there reported some halibut action. Not real, I think 32 inches was the better fish. But they're getting them at Shoreline Drive, Dog Beach, white flukes. The fluke bite is really good right now. Drop shot, right? White flukes was doing the job for those guys. Perch are mostly small there. And then
Well, that sure sounds like we're losing him here. That's a bummer, too.
before this last run of weather, and it was taken in Carlsbad Lagoon on a Texas rigged white Zoom fluke. So there's the fluke again. There are also other striped bass catches off the jetty. In and around Oceanside Harbor has also been fishy. They had a few fish off the jetty. These are like 4 to 8 pound fish. A couple on anchovy, a couple on swim baits, a couple on those drop shot flukes. So it sounds like there's a school running around there. And then there's also some perch, spotted bay bass, halibut, mostly smaller. But that striped bass thing keeps hanging in there. I tell you, as long as there's bait in on the beach and you can locate that bait, I think you have a shot at a fish.
What a crazy deal, Gundy. I mean, years or more now with that striped bass. I mean, it's here to stay. It's sure not a fluke thing or whatever it means, but keeping it on the drop shot. I mean, you keep it right in the bite zone and analyze them with it, I guess, right?
The current a lot of times will animate that bait, so you can fish it pretty static, pretty slow in the right areas.
Effective technique for that halibut, and appreciate your reports every week. Your voice is recovering. You sound good.
Sound better, buddy.
Yeah, definitely, and wish you well. Look forward to next week's report, and yeah, great job. Appreciate it.
That's awesome.
Yeah, we got some nice weather this week, so I imagine we're going to see some more catches this week.
I agree with you. Yeah, our slightly easterly wind, almost northeast for the entire 7-8 day period here, Gundy. So really looking forward to next week's report. And yeah, if you ever wanted to get out surfishing, right now is the time, man. Yeah.
Maybe.
Yeah, and you still see a little bonita around. That's telling you that anchovies around, and that striped bass loves that anchovy. So it all works together right now.
Some great words, Gundy. Appreciate it. Talk to you next week. And
all right, have a good week.
Later, Gundy.
Thank you, Gundy. And that was brought to us by Bill Varney's CCA calendar. It's the 2026 version. And Rick, do you still have them in the shop?
We got them. Yeah, we got them. It's the best tide chart ever. In addition to cool fishing bows and pertinent dates, like all in there. But I don't know what I would do without having that calendar for the tide charts.
Well, if you don't want to step into your local shop, wherever you're out there in Southern California, you can find them on surffishtackle.com.
You got it, man. Well, hey, phones are absolutely packed up. Everybody's dying to talk to Dave. Let's jump right back into it.
How about Hills? Talking about surf fishing right there. Hills and Ventura, good morning.
Hey, good morning, guys. Yeah, I'm heading to the beach, some surf fishing right now. But hey, good morning. And Dave, I want last time. Well, not the last time I saw a tomahawk, but I wrote it some years ago. But I was down there in the Fisherman's Landing with my buddy Chava that I fish with a lot, and we were looking at the tomahawk, and they had like a blanket over the bow, and I go, "What's up with the tomahawk?" And Chava said, "Well, they're fixing the bow." And my question was that you fixing it when you first got it or something?
I know we had the boat fully wrapped with scaffolding on the inside when we redid the house, and probably could have been doing a small project. I can't remember if that was me or not. No, I'm down there every day doing stuff, but very much so. I know we did a lot of work to it, beefing stuff up and making it what it is right now. So good chance it was me.
Boats solid, rolling, and again, when do you guess you'll have maintenance kind of buttoned up and ready to go for this season, or is it the type of thing where that time never comes? You'll continue to pick away at things, and then you obviously you get the big ones hit that have to happen, but I'm sure the list is forever going as a boat owner.
Yeah, it's do stuff. So as much as I want, I have to get the boat running, making some money, bringing in some money. So realistically, I'm going to try to capitalize with this stretch of good weather on painting the deck. Because usually that's the very last thing. Of course, climbing in out of the engine room, paint the deck last when all that stuff's done. So that's the plan. Get the deck painted, be ready. Yeah, within the next week or two.
I like it.
Always add an extra something though, because you say a week and ends up being 2. So yeah, probably 2 weeks.
I love it. Well, hey, I had a fun text, and I hesitate to read too many of these, but there's 50 of this exact same text, but I really like this one. Said, I had an absolute blast fishing with Dave and the Tomahawk crew. It was our first time in late August, and it was close to a full moon. Dave and his crew pulled about a dozen cow tunas with the most legendary kite work I've ever seen. You have never seen a captain and crew work so well together in kite fishing. It was a well-oiled machine. I'll be booking again this year. I can tell you one thing. This captain fishes harder than anyone else I've ever fished with, and he's all about the business. That's from Sam in Portland, Oregon.
Thank you, Sam. That's kind. It's awesome.
There's a lot of accolades just like that.
Trip.
You know,
I remember that trip.
I hesitate to just keep reading the same things, but there's a lot of fan mail of, we love Dave, we love the Tomahawk, keep it going, can't wait, coming again. But yeah, there's a lot. You got a lot of very big fans out there, Dave.
That's awesome.
No doubt. Corey, you said you had a good text coming through.
Yeah, there's actually quite a few, like you said. And good morning, everyone. Had a question for Dave about the bunk situation on the Tomahawk. Are bunk assignments first come, first served, or can you choose your bunk after booking your ticket? And that comes from Jake in Carlsbad.
Yeah, when you call and make your reservation, you can book your bunk. It seems like more are getting on that one too. But majority of the time it's a first come, first show. But there is trips where, say that a lot of group of people know about that. So that's an option. You can call when you make your reservation. You can have your bunk as well. So when you check in, you already know which bunk you have and you're already locked in. So it can go either way. You have the option to pre-book that bunk along with your reservation.
How cool, right?
Yeah.
I mean, you mentioned the 12 oversized bunks and the others being twins. I mean, they're all good size.
Yeah, if you're in a small one, you're in a giant one. If you're in a giant one, you're
exactly.
you got room to party.
Right.
No doubt. Well, hey, phones are still packed solid, Corey. Let's do it.
Let's do that. Yeah, and they've been full the entire time. How about Mike? Mike calling from Solana Beach. Good morning, Mike. Appreciate you joining us on Let's Talk Hookup.
Good morning, gentlemen. How are we?
What's up, Mike?
Doing well.
Good. Hey, Dave. I'm from the last trip for the Indy trip, and you helped me a million times because I was almost like an amateur.
How you doing, Mike?
Yeah,
I remember. No, everything was good, man. That was
Thank
fun.
you for all your help, man.
Awesome, dude. Thank you.
Yeah. You really made me my return trip after missing 4 years quite awesome.
That worked out
and,
good.
hey, Ricky, this is Mo, and I'm wondering if you guys are going to have those off-site radio broadcasts.
Mo, I mean, I hope so is the right answer. It's a Pete thing. What we're a little more tethered to, which at least, Pete would give you a much better answer than I think what caught us by surprise was the popularity that the audience has taken to watching the show with Facebook and YouTube and all of the other ways to take in Let's Talk Hookup. The biggest problem that persists is there's a lot more equipment that it takes to run those off-site. When it was just the mixing board and the microphones, it was very easy to do the off-site live broadcast. And now there's just so many more facets to doing the show that taking that equipment and engineering of it is just a lot more difficult. So my answer to you is I hope so. I don't really know. It's definitely more of a question for Pete, but it's definitely not like it was in the old days when all we really needed was a good cell phone signal and a couple of outlets. It's just a lot more to it. So it's tougher to make the show happen in a live format. But I would say stand by, and hopefully we can make that happen.
In all honesty, Rick, there's a little bit more than a tether, right? A little bit more than a tether, and it's so difficult when you're watching us on YouTube or Facebook Live. You can see everything in here. So difficult, like you said, to take the entire world headquarters here and relocate that.
And the problem that exists is, like, oh, well, no big deal. We'll just go back to the show. There's so many people that have taken to consuming Let's Talk Hookup in all the different alternate ways there is to do so. It's hard to, you're going to alienate a lot of the audience if you don't have the YouTube version or you don't have the app version or whatever it might be. So anyways, well, I appreciate the phone call, Mo, and I can tell you one thing. I sure like doing them. And, even if the live broadcast doesn't happen, I know Pete's going to be back at PCS show this year. So there'll be some fun outings that we have coming up for sure. Well, hey, I had another fun text come through. It says, good morning, guys. I always love our charters on the Tomahawk. A couple years ago, we did our first 2-day charter, and we were near San Clemente at 2 o'clock in the morning fishing bluefins, having a great trip. When off in the distance, the Navy started doing aerial bombings. Dave was very safe, very respectful. Even though we didn't need to, he moved us a little farther outside the area, continued to get us on fish, and we were treated to an amazing light and sound show. Thanks for a great job keeping us safe and, more importantly, keeping us on the fish. And that was from Tony.
Awesome. How cool is that,
That's
right?
That's a little bit of a wild one.
So much happens out there, right?
Yeah,
and
there's a lot of movement, that's for sure.
Right. And you logistically, sometimes they only want you a few miles outside of their zone, right?
I remember that night too. It was like, man, they didn't put anything out. It was definitely a light show for sure, sound show.
Crazy, super crazy.
Distance, safe to their standards, and I even took it a little farther. So yeah.
I can remember being on the Islander. Let's talk hookup. The kayak trip, and we had the fighter jets hugging the water, like literally. I don't even think 100 feet off the water.
Oh my God.
Shooting toward the island, and right before the island went straight 90 degrees up.
Crazy.
In the air.
What a job.
Full top gun status.
Like we're fishing between China and Pyramid, and they're doing that right alongside us, like a mile and a half from us.
That's right.
Some of the stuff that happens out there is pretty cool.
Yeah, no doubt about it. Let's jump back into those phones.
Let's
Corey.
do that. How about Ryan? Ryan Cohn from Irvine. Good morning, Ryan.
What's up, Ryan?
Good morning, Let's Talk Hookup crew and Captain Dave. I just want to start off by saying that the Tomahawk has always been one of my favorite boats. It was actually the boat where I caught my first 200-pound bluefin.
Wow! Hey, congratulations!
I just want to say thanks, Dave, for such an amazing trip and good experience. But my question to you is, do you ever think when you're dropping the jig at night that you can drop a jig a little too fast? Because I felt that last year, that a lot of the bites on the heavier style jigs, I was getting short bit or even snagging them. But some of the bites on the lighter style jigs, like you just can't get down deep enough to get bit. So what do you think?
I think absolutely it does matter. How fast we're drifting. That always, filters into how heavy a jig I fish. So if we have stale, calm, really minimal drift, I like doing the lighter gram jigs. Just that sink rate's better. It's only time I start doing those heavier ones is when we're drifting, a knot or, knot and a half, which is fast. I'll apply, a 350 gram. Very rarely go over 400 gram, but I for sure have been trying to use a lot of that smaller, just adapt to what we're fishing, how fast we're drifting gram size jigs. So no drift. I'm trying to use a 180 or, a 200 gram jig with no drift, and, just seeing how fast our drift is. And that's, something I try to do good at too, at least putting you guys or letting you guys know there, through my PA talks. I know I do a lot of those, but trying to even get better and just making sure like, hey guys, drifts fast, I'd use this. Hey, drift slow, use this. So that was a good question. I think it does matter.
That's one of the positive comments that we hear at the top of the dock and the landing that guys like fishing with you so much is that you're very information forward coming onto a school. Like they say, no matter how many times you get onto one, that Dave's very good at like coaching everybody through it. Where fish are starting to come onto us. They're at this depth to that depth, this side of the boat. Keep that you're just very information forward, which it's a huge, if you're the guy down there dropping the jig, now that you've got the right size jig because the boys on the boat had you tied up ahead of time, you've got your marked spectra, so you know exactly how much you need to sink to get to 250 feet. And Dave's calling out, hey, there's fish at this depth to that depth. It really helps keep you into the zone as the fisherman. And we hear a lot of positive comments about it.
That's awesome.
How many, I have a question because like bass fishing, obviously more the inshore guy, right? Than the offshore bluefin, nighttime. Bass fishing, a lot of the bites will come on the sink, like the majority, really. You can get some on the wind, and it does happen that way. Yeah. But what do you think the percentage? I'm asking both of you, right? Like what on the sink versus the wind or jigging? Like what is it, 50-50?
I think it's more like 70-30 or even 80-20.
So the fall being the primary.
I think so.
Yeah.
Dave's the guy to answer that, not I.
Yeah.
Always try to think back, give the most truthful answer. I feel like God, I was getting a lot of bites on the winding for whatever it is.
Yeah.
And you know, if I'm dropping a jig trying to hook in hand, I'll always, you know, holler it out. I was on the sink, or hey, that was on the wind. And just that perspective of at least being in tune, like, okay, I'm down way far enough, but I still have that chance to get bit in on the wind.
Right.
So at least trying to give everyone that information line of like, all right, well, if you didn't get bit on the sink, you still can get bit on the wind in. You know, jig gets scoped out, winding up, resetting. God, I feel like on the sink, it probably is 60-40.
Interesting.
Now, when you're winding the jig back too, is it is it wahoo fishing where you're turning the handle as fast as you physically can? Is it just a nice mellow pace? Is it somewhere a little faster than that, but kind of in between? Like, what do you like to do?
Pretty fast, but not to where I'm like burning myself out fast. So it's just fast on the note of like, I want to get this bite reset. If my jig still's, you know, straight up and down. And man, resetting, I always can't emphasize on that one enough. Someone gets scoped out or a couple fish coming together. It's like everyone still wants to keep fishing to get that bite, but it's like, man, winding up, reset, and getting away, getting to a whole nother corner of the boat. It's like
that's
seeing those signs.
That's
for sure.
Definitely the one thing I hear from all the primary captains, right? Like that whole straight up and down is so darn important.
It is.
Yeah.
Just
So
knowing
you
where your jig's at and just,
but getting scoped out a little bit is
getting more than that 45-degree angle out.
You're just not. It's not gonna happen.
Wishing, not fishing.
Yeah.
What do you do? Put yourself in the angler shoes. Run us through what you do when you do get a bite. You know, rod and reels and free spool, and that jig stops and shakes, and it does the things that it does when a fish gets a bite. Like, what's the proper move to get yourself tight and attached and off to the races? And then maybe consequently, what's the wrong thing to do when that happens? I'm sure you've seen a lot of both.
I'm guilty of fishing it and getting a bite, winding, setting the hook. I'm guilty of it too. Your adrenaline gets going. But how I feel the best, at least if I was game plan going into it, dropping my jig, of course, I'm always giving everyone the, hey, almost, you guys, you know, everyone's standing in the bow. It's like that whole conveyor belt thing, drop your jig. But how I fish when the boat gets settled, I'm pitching off the downwind corner and I'm just rod on the rail, dropping it to that depth. Jig stops, put it in gear, leaving the rod on the rail, and just turning that handle until the fish pulls line. Once
get everything tight.
Line, you know everything's set. Bend your rod. It's like those are those key things. That's like, okay, jig set, hooks are set.
Resist the urge to get a bite and swing.
That's the whole leaving it on the rail. If the rod's up in the air, your natural reaction is going to be to pull back up against, no matter who you are.
That's what we grew up doing.
It's like on the rail at least helps with, you know, focusing on turning the hand over, setting the hook. But I'm guilty of trying to set the hook too. So
that's probably good. That's good. That's a good tip. That's a good tip and a real, and that's a real answer too.
It is. You know, that's
the on paper answers. I've never swung my whole life. Turn the handles like, but let's be real, man. We all get jumpy. Like, I'm bit, you know. That's cool. All right, well, let's jump back into those phones, Corey.
Let's do that, Rick. How about Jason? Jason calling from San Diego. Appreciate you joining us on Let's Talk Hookup, Jason.
Hey, good morning, guys. Happy New Year. How's it going?
What's up, Jason?
Going good, man.
Captain Dave, you're awesome. All right, my question is, though, with all this time on the water, what is the craziest thing you've seen on the water, the most memorable thing, biggest fish, and your go-to knot?
Oh, some good questions.
Pulling out the book here.
Right?
I'm going to have to look at the album here.
Right?
I really do think some of the coolest stuff I saw was at Guadalupe Island back when we were able to fish. And I feel like that was the fishery that was like, you know, the boat called me, asked me if I could work a trip, and they would go on to Guadalupe. I would shift all to be able to go fish it. And of course, things are different now. We can't fish it, but I feel like some of the best times, best fisheries, and
both in like I would bet in the fish catching, but also the wildlife shark part of it also.
That was for sure. Just, you know, like Discovery Channel really made these things look different. You see them up close, it's like, wow, they look huge up in person, just backs wide as cars. It's like Discovery Channel, this don't even do justice. So for sure, that was probably some of the better memories or, you know, experiences, just being able to fish that. And lost track there.
What's big fish that's come aboard the Tomahawk under your? I
think a 280.
Oh,
280 was the big.
Wow.
And that was the first season I had the boat.
Okay.
And it's like, I know there's been some bigger ones, or not bigger ones, but ones as big. But I think the 280 mark was probably the biggest we've conquered. on the tomahawk.
And how did that fish come?
That one was knife jigging.
No kidding.
Yeah,
wow.
yeah.
I would have thought for sure you'd say a kite fish.
I know. That one was a knife jig.
280 on a knife jig.
Yep.
Nighttime?
Nighttime.
Wow.
Yeah.
Wow.
Crazy.
Yep, I remember that. And it was a lot of the 120-pound fish, and just for whatever reason, that one came up to gaff. Like,
whoa.
Do you think
more gaffs.
daytime would have been probably a little more difficult? I mean, I'm assuming nighttime.
That
Just
kill time ratio at night's just big difference from
Yeah.
from daytime. It being faster at nighttime. Yeah, there's some duration battles, but I feel like able to kill those fish faster at night.
You're just able to keep them confused and
Something about it.
Yeah.
They're easier at nighttime.
Still good
Thank
battles.
God. Yeah.
Still good battles.
That doesn't mean you don't get your butt kicked at nighttime, but
yeah.
But there's you got that right. Well, Corey, let's find out what's going on the water. We got our man, the fishdope.com reporter, the Anglers Realtor, standing by this morning.
And Rick, it's brought to us by the Fish Pros of Fisherman's Processing in San Diego, and it's where you get your premier processing experience. You can check out their easier online system to book your processing for your long-range trips. And now with more team members, Fisherman's Processing stays far ahead of the rest. They have more same-day capacity and the finest customer service. You can stop by their location in Old Town on Taylor Street, or just check them out at fishermansprocessing.com and make your reservations today. And good morning, Yusuf.
What's up, Yusuf?
Not too much. Good morning, guys. How we doing?
Doing good,
great.
man.
Good. Well, fishing is definitely winter fishing now. We're kind of getting back into it. It's going to be a little bit more of the bass stuff and that kind of thing. So start up in Santa Monica Bay. There's a decent bass bite going. Twilight hours is the best right now. Leadhead squid combo is working very, very well. The PV Coast is also seeing some big calico bass. Some of it's on the surface. Crankbaits and swim baits are working great. Over in Catalina, the island is completely jugged with squid. The stuff on the backs or on the front side and the back side. The halibut fishing on the backside slowed down a little bit, but still fairly good. And there are a few yellows being reported back there. Down below that, Mission Bay is still the hot spot for catching pretty much as many bonito as you want right now. These are getting bigger, like you guys were talking about earlier, like 4 to 5 pound is pretty much the common now. A lot of them are hanging out about 300 to 400 feet of water out off of Mission Bay and are caught super easy trolling feathers. Also, a lot of people are using little tiny Colt snipers, and those are pretty deadly with them. But you know how it is with bonito. They eat just about anything when they're this thick. Down below, rock pile, not a lot of reports coming from down there. Rock fishing on the South Nine is really good right now. Colonet is about the only show going. There is a small, kind of slow yellowtail pick there from some boats that were down there. I think they're heading back today. They did come back with some big lings and big reds, so the rock fishing down there is outstanding. And that's all I got for you guys today.
Boy, we'll take that, man. If that's what our January reports are consisting of, good weather, wide open bonito fishing, good fishing for the boys down south, we'll certainly take that. Yosef, a great job, great report. Appreciate that very much, and we'll look forward to talking to you next week.
That sounds great, guys.
You got it, man. How's the real estate game with the little upturn, new year starting, tax time, all that kind of stuff? What's the latest in that world?
This week, so the bond market's really strong. Trump announced that they're buying up $200 billion in bonds. So anytime the bond market is strong, the interest rate goes down. So we saw interest rates this week, day before yesterday, fall to 5.9. This is the first time it's been below 6 in 3 years.
That's awesome news.
So all the people that bought the past 3 years, it's time to talk to your lender and get that thing refied. And then we should see a big turn in the market here in the next probably month. And buyers will come off the couch and start buying again.
Love it, man. Well, we're glad to hear it. Glad to hear that's going to keep you busy. If somebody wants to keep in touch with you for a guy that really has your back in that real estate world, how do we do that?
You can get me on my cell phone, 619-277-2169. You can hop on my website, sportsmansrealty.com. if you have a house you want to look into the value on, you can go to SoCalHomeEval.com and we will send you a home evaluation.
That's awesome. Well, great news, buddy. Sure appreciate that. And we'll look forward to talking to you next week.
All right, guys, take care. Have a great week.
Thanks, Joseph. Hey, I got a fun text from our buddy Scott Sherman as a little reminder for the Southwestern Yacht Club Bottom Fish Tournament, which benefits Captain Rollo, is going to be April 18th this year, and a really fun time. Last year, they raised $25,000 for Captain Rollo's Kids at Sea.
Incredible.
So, yeah, just awesome. A great job, a big fun raffle, just a fun time. It's awesome, man. I'm really proud of those guys, and what a great thing. And it's a fantastic tournament. Super well run. It's a lot of fun. It's no pressure. There's some great fishermen. They do a great barbecue afterwards. It's just a really, really fun time with some great guys, and obviously benefiting a fantastic cause, sending kids out fishing. It's I don't even know what the number is. I think it's in its 50 something annual. 50
Crazy.
years this tournament's going on, and they don't last that long if they're not run super well. And the tradition certainly continuing. So we'll look forward to keeping you more up to date as that comes. But keep that on the calendar. April 18th, it's coming up.
And knowing that they're benefiting Captain Rollo's Kids at Sea, what a cool thing! Because I think only for a couple of years they've done that.
Yeah.
And to have it go that direction is super cool.
Yeah.
To know you're participating, having a great time, fish tacos afterwards.
Totally. The money's always gone to a very deserving cause. You know,
Yeah.
I know it's been elder care, it's been hospice, it's been kids, it's been everything. It's been a lot of different things, but how cool that they're investing in the future of fishing. And that's what Rollo is, man. You're sending kids out fishing, and you just never know. Some kid that's never been before goes out fishing on the Dolphin, catches himself a 5-pound bonita, like the hook is set, man. And he might be the next Dave Ibrahim.
Just good from the heart.
Yeah,
man.
no doubt about it.
Hey, we're going to be right back. More with Dave Ibrahim when we return on the Let's Talk Hookup app, YouTube, Facebook Live, and 97.3 The Fan.
For local or long-range fishing, we have you covered. Hi, this is Doug Kern from Fisherman's Landing Tackle, the saltwater tackle professionals. Being a part of the San Diego Sport Fishing Landing gives us a distinct advantage when it comes to getting you on the latest and hottest tackle for your trip. Our expert staff knows exactly what you need for your long-range or local trip, and we will not sell you something you don't need. We carry a huge inventory of the right tackle. So visit us at Fisherman's Landing Tackle at Fisherman's Landing in San Diego. The name that stands out among anglers is Fisherman's Landing, your top choice in local and long-range fishing. Our hardworking crew will make your fishing experience from 1 to 3 days, the best charter boats available, and of course, our world-renowned long-range fleet is second to none. All our open party trips can be easily booked online at fishermanslanding.com or give us a call. I'll see you at Fisherman's Landing in San Diego.
The state-of-the-art long-range sport fishing vessel, the Independence, delivers the top quality, comfort, and fishability you look for in a long-range boat. Veteran captains Mark Bizzano and Paul Strasser built this incredible 112-foot vessel with the most modern technology and luxurious comfort available. Once you go on the Independence, you'll be back. Call Independence Sports Fishing at 619-226-6006 or check independencesportfishing.com.
In 1977, Ford F-Series became the best-selling trucks in America. 33 million trucks later, Ford has kept that title every year since. And your San Diego County Ford dealers plan to repeat that again for the next 49 years. F-Series, America's best-selling trucks, and Ford, the most awarded brand for new vehicle quality among trucks. Get ready to power through whatever this new year brings in a Ford. Check out the entire Ford F-Series lineup and take a test drive today. Go to your local San Diego County Ford dealer. They'll be glad to hook you up.
For your next fishing adventure, check Point Loma Sport Fishing. They offer half-day and full-day trips daily, perfect for families and the novice or seasoned fishermen. Point Loma Sport Fishing also offers overnight to multi-day trips, targeting the best of seasonal catches. Visit PointLomaSportFishing.com, where you can purchase tickets online and get more information on the trips available, or call 619-223-1627. Want to go fishing? Point Loma Sport Fishing has you covered.
All right, welcome back to Let's Talk Hookup, and having so much fun. And Rick was sharing the monster truck with his family. It's so cool.
Dave
man.
and I were talking about Monster Jam with the boys.
Right?
Yeah, Dallas and Wyatt and I and my mom and sister all all went to the monster trucks last night, and I know, Dave, you're taking your little dude today.
Yeah, today, yep.
It was it's good times,
right?
It was pretty
I
fun.
can only imagine.
It was a really fun show. The boys had a blast. It was
man,
cool.
nothing better.
Yeah, we were sharing videos of trucks jumping and both the boys grave diggering up, and Wyatt's like all monster trucks this year. You know, he was really hoping for Santa to bring him a monster truck, and he came through. Obviously, Wyatt was good all year, and he got super lucky, and Santa brought him a Gravedigger monster truck, and he is just, man, he was so about it last night.
That's crazy. How old is your boy, Dave?
7.
7.
Oh, yeah.
Oh, he's going to be fully
questionable if he's going to wear the earmuffs this year, because prior years it was always the earmuffs.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah. Too loud. Like, you're getting bigger now. Let's see here.
Both the boys were rocking, and Waylon, who's our youngest, was not into it. He just didn't want, he was fighting, wanting to take the headphones off. But yeah, it's loud, man. Those trucks are the real deal. Like it was something. But yeah, great time, man. It was really
pretty
fun.
cool.
Yeah, I'm anxious to hear what Dave thinks. It was a good time.
Well, we're having such a great time in studio. And again, if you want to join us, Jeff's waiting for you at the fan, 833-288-0973. Having so much fun. The lines have been nearly full the entire time, Dave. They love you, want to talk to you. Or you can send us a text via the app, and giving away a day-and-a-half trip on the Tomahawk at the end of the show. So.
Yeah, no doubt. Well, hey, we're having a fun night. I wanted to start this one off with a text before we dive back into the phones, which are still absolutely jam-packed, by the way. And as Corey said, if you want to get in on the phones, 833-288-0973 is how you do it. It says, "Good morning, gentlemen. My question is for Captain Dave. I was really interested in chartering the boat for a group of lady anglers. What's the minimum people that we need? What's the information in terms of doing a day-and-a-half charter?" That's from Kathleen and OB.
Kathleen and OB.
Fun to do an all-ladies charter,
Yeah,
right?
I know. I got hit up for another one. I thought we had Rose hit us up who wanted to do a charter with lady anglers.
Nothing wrong with that,
Nothing
right?
wrong with that. The amount of people really just depends, because we, charter rate for the boat per day. It's all listed on the website, tomahawksportfishing.com, and or Fisherman's Landing too. And it just depends how much you want to break that number up between each angler. So,
right? You can go with 2 people and split that cost in half, or you can go with 10.
We've had 3-day trips with 10 people.
Really?
So they divvied up that whole rate between them, and it was like, more power to you.
That's a trip I want to be on.
Right, exactly. So it just depends how many anglers and how much you want the ticket fare to be per angler. So depending, 18, 20. I feel like for the setup, 20 would probably be a good number.
What a fun way to do it, too. You get a group of gals together. You just no pressure, easy to go, not worried about anything. And obviously, you guys do a great job with the boat. One thing we touched on kind of early, but haven't talked a whole lot about is the meal plan and food that you guys do. And it's another thing that gets brought up a lot is, just again, like a lot of your long range, background, you guys do an elevated food on that boat.
Yes, exactly. Meal plan, it makes it easier, especially with this night and day fishing we've had. Having the meal plan at least gets you a little better price on the meals, but it also tells Nick how many meals he has to cook, because Nick's the type he'll get on the roof and be glassing, or send in a deck hand down to take a nap because he's been up all night, so Nick would come out. So it creates that just how much to cook and just efficiency and all that. So meal plans on the note of knowing how many people are going to eat, and get you a little better price on the meals.
That's awesome.
And keeping it a notch up, man. There's nothing wrong with boat burgers and breakfast burritos, but we try to just do a notch up. Obviously, we do that. Charter groups that even request the burgers and burritos. So you do have that option too on a charter. If there's food you can't eat or don't want or prefer, calling Fisherman's Landing, and they take note to it. And when I go in there and I see it, and I make sure the cook's aware of it and all that.
What have been some of your favorites that your chefs put together for the guys, on your 2 and 3 day trips?
He has some, and he, makes his own sauces, and it's always a treat just on, meals he's going to cook. But I feel like just the long-standing short ribs.
Okay.
Short ribs, traditional, garlic mashed asparagus. It's like one of
That's pretty hard to beat, man.
It's pretty hard to beat.
Making me hungry.
Yeah, especially on a day where you're needing that fuel for bluefin all night.
Yeah, just trusty. Pot roast stuff, same style, and dessert to go with it. But I mean, he's just good on all angles, and even a couple of the relief guys we have, which this year I'm going to have, guys on the same caliber and
That's great.
willingness to put out good food like that.
That's truly the long range, quote unquote, long range coming from the American Angler and some of the other big boats.
Right, yeah.
You're not getting a pre-boxed lasagna getting heated up.
No, negative. You're getting a custom sauce. I'm sure you're asking him how he made it. And,
That's cool.
What's the recipe? I'm sure.
But it's little touches, man. That's what's keeping you. It's a competitive field that you're in. There's no doubt about it, and it's not easy to take a boat like yours and in short time put it at the highest level. And you guys have done it.
Yep, absolutely.
That's cool. Well, we dig it. Well, the phones are packed up. Everybody's dying to talk to you, Dave.
How about Carl? Carl calling from Escondido. Good morning. Welcome to the show this morning, Carl.
Hey, Carl.
Hey, good morning, guys. I was going to ask about the bunk, if you could book a bunk, and you already said you could when you do your deal. But if I happen to win this, can I upgrade it to like a 2 or 3 grade day?
With taking just whatever the day and a half trip costs and adding it towards just a more day trip.
Yeah.
Yes.
Hey,
yes.
how about that? That's cool.
Show some love.
Awesome, Dave. Well, that's awesome. There you go, Carl. Hopefully, you're the big winner. Appreciate the phone. Appreciate the phone call very much, buddy. Had a fun Texas. Good morning. This is Chuck from Dana Point. I need to give a huge thank you to Captain Dave. I was on the 095 in November of 2016 when you called us in a bite that you had going on. We were having a little bit of a tough go, and I believe you had completely finished and had limits for the night, but kept them going until we got there and put us on it. We caught fish till 2 a.m. because of you. I want to say how much the teamwork that you put into it made it work for me. I'll be a customer of yours of life. That's from Chuck and Dana Point.
How about that?
That's awesome.
I love that.
Super cool.
Yeah, it's cool. Good job, Chuck. Corey, you had a fun text you were saying?
Yeah, God, there's so many coming through, Rick. And this one comes from Jeff in Huntington Beach. And Jeff says, good morning, guys. Dave, I heard you like the Fathom 40. What setups do you recommend on a 3-day trip? And the second part of the question, what is your favorite fish to catch on your off time? It says, good luck this season.
Awesome. All right.
So for 3-day, I mean, that would probably be not too far off of day and a half, 2-day gear.
Yeah. It's like if you definitely want to have, it's better to have it, not need it, than need it, not have it. So having a light setup, whether it's 20, 25 pound setup for a fly line bait, because 3 days, you know, there's a chance you could be fishing some different grade fish, different zones, depending on the time of year, maybe, bluefin and yellowfin, of course, just what the ocean has to offer, but 3 days having the time to do so. So lighter rigs, from 20 to 30 pound rigs, mid sinker range, 50, 60 pound rigs like that. So having a light rig, medium rig, and then your nighttime jigging setup. I feel like if you have 3 to 4 setups, you're pretty covered. Maybe there's a casting setup that you want to add in there. So, but at least having the light, medium, and heavy covered. And if, you want to have doubles for those, I think you'd be pretty well covered. And yeah, Fathom 40, I just say that on the note that that's what we have now. Like there's plenty of great reels on the market. Shimano Talicas, Daiwa Saltigas, they're all great reels. Just by chance on what we have on the boat, it is that. And looking forward to acquiring a few different brands as well. For rods, I know we were talking about on one of the breaks. I'm like, man, the numbers. I know I'd like to get a hold of CalStar and get some of their gear on the boat. And God, Rick, do you have to add to it just on rods?
I think it's perfect. Yeah, in terms of, I think you said it best. If your 3-rod quiver is your a live bait rod. If I was picking anything, the 3-rod set of like a 25 pound fly line live bait, and then a 40 to 60 pound heavier bait, sinker rig, light jig, and then your heavy rod for nighttime fishing. My favorites would be a 278 foot heavy CalStar for fishing 25 pound. That 40 to 60 pound outfit, like a general purpose. I really like a rod from CalStar called an 875 heavy.
875.
Yeah, it's a 7.5 foot rod, and it's a very good do everything. You could fish 40 to 60 pound on it. It's 7.5 feet, so it's long enough to cast a live bait, but it's got a lot of lift in the tip section of the rod. So if you're sinker rig fishing with 50 pound or maybe even touching 60 pound, and you do hook a 100 pounder, you got plenty of rod there to deal with it. And then in terms of nighttime jigging, I'm with Dave. I'm a rail rod guy more than anything else. And I really like that CalStar 770 extra heavy, 7 foot rail rod, fishes 80 pound, 100 pound, just fine. It's my favorite.
Rick, you were talking about you guys. I mean, just to throw it in here, I'm sorry, but off air, you were talking about going up to CalStar.
Yeah. Doug and Brandon and myself went up to CalStar on Friday and to kind of tour the new facility with John and Chris and the whole crew up there, and it was really cool. It was really
Incredible,
cool.
huh?
It was incredible. Like you could really feel Chris Yamada's aerospace background in what the new CalStar facility was. Everything was just spotless, epoxy floors. Like you're into a factory that builds fishing rods. It's resins, it's fiberglass, it's composites, it's baking, it's sanding, it's grinding grips, it's applying epoxies to things. It smells impeccable. There's no scent of any chemical of any kind. There's like clean rooms and dirty rooms that are all like crazy ventilated. It was all the lighting, like, you know, we were talking to Chris and John, like they're so proud that it is such a good workspace for the team. You know what I mean? Like that was what they were bigger than. Everything is redundant. Like you could feel that there was a person who worked in a very in a bigger industry that put this together. Every machine had a backup to it. Everything was clean. Like everything was done for a purpose. There was a ton of space. It was really cool to see.
And to know it's all made in the USA. You know what I mean?
Dude.
With Southern California hands on it. It's not sent to the Orient to have them wrapped. And something I didn't know until last year, Rick, and maybe Dave doesn't know. I know you know, Rick, but they make all their own Hypalon. Right?
I didn't know that.
I didn't know that until last year. Like they do all that stuff in-house.
They are an extremely proud made in the USA.
It's incredible.
But they take it to a very personal, you know, and special level. Like even machinery, you know, like they were very proud to tell us, like, you know, this machine is a really big deal. Like this is manufactured in the United States, and you could get this a lot cheaper if you went overseas, but the quality's not going to be there. The tight tolerance isn't going to be there. Like this machine, whatever it might be, is available at a fraction of the cost, but it won't produce the level of quality that this one is that's made in the USA. And they like, there's zero hesitation. Like they're very proud to have that American flag on all their products.
I need to ask, you guys go up there and we're 7 weeks from PCS. Is there something going on?
I get in trouble.
Cooking?
I get in trouble every time for saying things that I'm not supposed to. It's way too early. I will be. Yeah. You will be able to get it out of me for sure. But today is not the day. Yes, we've got some very cool. We've got some very cool ideas in the works. It was Doug, Brandon, and myself. That crew doesn't get together with Chris and John, and something cool doesn't come out of the oven. We're gonna have some really cool stuff for PCS.
That's pretty neat.
Just leave it at that.
And having Chris involved has changed the whole program.
Big time.
And not changed it for the worse. I mean, changed it completely for the better.
Yep. Yeah.
It's awesome to hear.
What's fun is getting to see John just take it and run with it. Like John has basically been given this, you know, he's like the Wizard of Oz. Like he's been given this unbelievable facility, no hold back on anything material time. And we were talking to him about rods and building. Like the supply is incredible. Like they have a ton of rods there that are just ready to go. Like they built a huge amount. So which is great for a dealer like us. When you need something, you call them, they got it. But it's also given John the ability to prototype and make new, and it's no holds bar. If he's got an idea cooking in his head and they want to build a prototype, it's there. I'll tell you one that I was really proud of. We went to a section where they're, you know, and I know that I'm not letting the cat too far out of the bag, because we talked about it the last time Chris was on. They're building, in their mind, a perfect jigging rod. And the jigging rod needs to do a lot of things. It needs to be light enough that it's capable to fish, and the tip needs to move the jig the right way, but it's CalStar, so they want it to be appropriate. They're on the 40th generation of prototypes. 40. They have built over 40 blanks. They put them on all the different boats, and they've taken all the opinions from all the people. Hey, we need it tweaked a little bit this way. We want to do a little bit that way. Hey, what if we built it with this guide train instead of that guide train? Like they are not willing to. They've gone through an entire season where they had a very appropriate jigging rod ready. They could have slapped a CalStar label on it at the beginning of this season and sold a bunch of rods because of it, but just not willing for that thing to come out until, in their opinion, it's perfect. And so it's still not available yet because they want it to be perfect before a rod comes out with a CalStar label on it.
I'm kind of putting the dots together. I'm kind of putting it together.
I hope
do you
so.
see it, Dave?
I
do.
I hope those dots too. I don't know that it will. I hope so. I know exactly what you're thinking, and I don't know if we're going to have it by then or not. Like I don't. It's cool. It was really fun. Yeah. Hats off to those boys. They did a good job, no doubt about it.
Well, I have to say what led us to this whole thing was the text from Jeff in Huntington Beach. The thing we didn't get out, Dave, was your favorite fish.
Oh,
to fish,
off time.
To
Yeah.
fish off
Yeah,
time.
that's right.
I can't believe we went this far, right?
It's large
Freshwater? Really?
Largemouth is my therapy, peaceful side of it.
I didn't know that.
Yeah,
I didn't know you.
Oh yeah.
I would have put you 100% on a surface iron yellowtail. 100%. My
Yellowtail
thought would
for
have been.
saltwater by far.
But at heart,
like local El Cap.
These past couple years, I haven't been into it as much as I was.
Yeah.
But for sure, saltwater away from tomahawk, it'd for sure be surface iron yellowtail, any type of yellowtail off the skiff. If I got little men, calico bass, bonita.
Talking my language.
Yeah, that's it.
I'm with you on the largemouth, man. It puts you in a different state of mind too.
Yeah, I've been off it the last couple of years, just worried about the boat, making sure the boat's ready, and just main priority. But yeah, I think
Hard to dedicate the time. Hard to dedicate the time to do that right when you've got such a big deal like you do with the tomahawk.
Yeah, exactly.
I get a couple calls, Corey.
Let's do that. How about Baja Bend?
We got you there, Ben.
Good morning.
Oh, he's breaking up
All
there.
right, well, looks like we might have lost
Time. I wasn't late, but
ready. Can't go fishing on board the Tomahawk one.
address the kind of
Peace.
Hey, I can return to the shows.
And here's incredible.
You know,
I have to admit, there's an entire team. Yeah, they use MC Swim. Yeah. I'll be next to him and
yeah, you're in a great spot, and it's next to Valerie from Queen from Haida Gwaii Safaris. And
if I can like open up just a little bit and share it's a one-man stream, right? And
MC Swim Bait, the thousands that we have in the shop.
And more help. Yeah.
Perfect.
Yeah.
I'm excited that a guy can be going on a trip to Cedros and get to talk to the guy. This trip I'm going on the dates. I'm really interested. Really done the weedless thing before.
Part of the situation. Maybe we'll carry certain with that and stuff going on with Fisherman's Landing, like the comment.
Side, what there? You know, what are the fault there is not right from the day and a half trip? Are there?
Not far from San Clemente, and there's a chance of things happening. I mean, I hate to majority of that day. But if we have that feeling or a hit on them before we got to go home, because it just know how doing that, whether it's Ryland and back that zone, we feel good
on your end is like you gotta be in position too, and sometimes being in position in the daytime with they're not biting means that you will be on it in the nighttime, and you don't want to not have that in your back pocket.
So not running away too quick, but being ready.
That's definitely good stuff. Hey, we're going to be right back. We're going to find out who's won this day-and-a-half trip on the Tomahawk. Had such a great time. We're going to be right back. It's Let's Talk Hookup, Southern California Sport Fishing Voice on the Let's Talk Hookup app, YouTube, Facebook Live, and 97.3 The Fan.
Everyone has their go-to fishing spot. My spot is Kingfisher Charters in Sitka, Alaska. Rock Cod Rick here to say if you're looking for the ultimate Alaska experience and the best value in Alaska, it's Kingfisher Charters. Owner Seth Bone and his crew consistently deliver deluxe accommodations, the finest food, world-class fish processing, and top-of-the-line fishing experience. We've literally sent hundreds of our listeners to Kingfisher, and they all can't wait to go back. Most Alaska resorts make big promises, and they don't deliver, or they'll nickel and dime you to drive up the cost, but not Kingfisher. Everything is included. Your license, fish processing, super deluxe accommodations, amazing food, airport transfers, your gear. Literally all you need to bring is your layer clothing, and Kingfisher covers the rest. They also have the finest boats and charter captains in Sitka, all for the ultimate value. Take it from me, book your trip to Kingfisher Charters and you'll thank me. Kingfisher Charters, 800-727-6136 or check kingfishercharters.com.
It may be winter in Southern California, but those of us who live here know it's a great time of year to go fishing, and certainly not time to put your gear away. This is Ben, and you will see me at my dad's shop, Dana Landing in Mission Bay, the one-stop shop for a great day on the water. Food, bait, tackle, beverages, and more. This is the ideal time for bay bass fishing, and I get the inside scoop from Johnny. Heck, he will even rent you one of our killer blue skiffs. This is also a good time to go work on your reels, and Doug is the man for that job. If big largemouth bass are your bag, nothing beats East County Bait and Tackle. They have all the right stuff and live bait for a perfect day on the lake. Lemon Grove Bait and Tackle is super cool too, for both freshwater and saltwater tackle. ECBT is at the end of the 67 freeway on Mapleview and Lakeside. Lemon Grove Bait and Tackle is on Broadway in Lemon Grove, and Dana Landing is next to the Dana Launch Ramp in Mission Bay. Check danalanding.com for more details.
3 kayaks, 6 surfboards, 10 rods, and 1 truck bound for Baja. That's where my brother and I's most recent quest into the Baja Peninsula began, in search of waves, fish, and fun. We are able to transport all the kayaks, rods, and boards without straps due to the easy transportation of the Hobie iTrack inflatable kayaks. We brought a tandem and 2 singles, the I-9 and 11, and they were totally enough to get all 6 of the boys onto some of the best halibut and grouper fishing of their lives. Now, you might be thinking, 3 kayaks? I thought a tandem and 2 singles would only be able to fit 4 people. Well, a simple lawn chair on the back of the kayak was enough to turn the 2 single kayaks into tandems. Catching upwards of 100 fish a day in the mangroves, ranging from 15-pound grouper to tons of legal halibut, we had our fill and headed back to the States. Check out the full video of this trip on our YouTube channel, Fastlane SC, or come by our shop in Mission Bay and check out a Hobie inflatable kayak. See you soon.
The reels that Southern California anglers have been waiting for are here. Shimano is proud to introduce the all-new Talica 40A and 50A reels. The Talica series is Shimano's flagship 2-speed lever drag reel. It sits at the very pinnacle of the offshore world. Shimano has increased the fishability of the larger Talica models by reducing rotational resistance at high drag and improving durability in critical positions within the reel. The all-new Talica 40A and 50A now boast Infinity Drive, which employs 2 drag washers housed on the side of the reel, allowing for an ultra-smooth, powerful drag system, while at the same time increasing winding power under a load by as much as 40%. The new Telica is built around a more compact, cold-forged machine aluminum one-piece frame. Plus, there's also a new higher high gear built with a Southern California angler in mind. The new Telica 40 and 50A are available now at your local Shimano dealer.
All right, welcome back to Let's Talk Hookup. Dave's going to flip the coin.
Do us the honors, bro.
Day and a half trip on the Tomahawk going to a caller. And today the caller is Mike in Solana Beach.
Hey, congratulations, Mike. Dave, man, can't begin to thank you enough. Taking 2 hours out of the day to come hang and talk fishing with us. It was so much fun. I absolutely love the boat and the program that you guys put down.
Awesome.
You're doing such a good job. Just keep it going, man.
Thank
awesome.
you for having me. Happy to be here.
We love it. If somebody wants to come fishing with you, how do we do it? And, we were talking PCS. Will we see you at the show this year?
Yeah, you guys will see me there.
Okay,
I'll be there.
cool. At the Fisherman's Landing booth?
Fisherman's Landing booth, exactly.
Cool. Awesome.
Booking a trip, Fisherman's Landing, 619. I'm spacing out.
221.
221. I was going to say 251. 221-8500. Book your spot and option of booking your bunk. Same thing for the charters. Contact Fisherman's Landing, tomahawksportfishing.com. All linked together. You can book your trip on tomahawksportfishing.com. It's linked to Fisherman's Landing. So
I love this boat. I love everything you do. The bunk, the comfort, the food, the crew. It's just an awesome ride. You guys really do it the right way.
Thank you.
Proud to have it, man.
Thank you.
Awesome. Great job. Hey, and we're proud to have you. We got another couple of great shows coming for you next weekend. Next Saturday, we've got Captain Cameron from the Mission Bells going to be joining us. And then Sunday, we've got Bob from Katmai Lodge. A couple of great shows, talking a lot of fun and having a lot of fun with you. You stay tuned. It's Let's Talk Hookup, Southern California Sport Fishing Voice on the Let's Talk Hookup app, as well as Facebook and YouTube Live.
KWFN and KWFN HD1 San Diego.
What's up, guys? It's Brayden Sobrenet talking sports and tracking down San Diego's best food spots. If it's worth tasting or talking about, we're on it. Weekdays, 10 to